Yeah, I'm well, thank you. I'm pretty excited for this one. I think you and I both having knocked out our own races last night. It's nice to kick back with the feet up and see how this one plays out with very, very little consequence to us.
Apart from the curses, which we're hoping not to do tonight, but yes, definitely less stressful this way, watching others drive instead of driving yourself.
Yeah, so we're a little bit early already tonight. We're already about a minute or two into qualifying. As we see, it looks like everyone's still on their outlap, so we haven't missed too much action unless you're really, really into tire warming and brake warming. But we're following along with Gemwise Holmes, Joshua Holmes, in that Bentley, the number 24, and he could be our pace setter for tonight. He, I believe, was setting some pretty racy pace in the practice, but now it's time to put the hammer down and actually deliver. So there we go. There's our benchmark, a 1:33.0, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a good outlap, but it's not a world beater. I suspect that that's going to get beaten relatively quickly as the track grips up a bit.
Yeah, definitely solid for a banker, but I reckon Mr. Holmes has a little bit more in the reserves. At the moment, nobody's pipped him just yet. Wow, a bit of a forward slide through Island Bend there. How do you like that? But yeah, Chris Murphy just under 2/10 off the pace on his banker. Obviously, they'll probably get 6 or 7 laps if you do the entire quali on a single stint. But we'll see some of them jump in and probably change tyres halfway through. You don't lose too much time, as that is Kung and a McLaren that seem to have had a coming together. I think that's the 95 of Zach Jensen, sorry, not Jack Zenzen. And Chris Murphy might have got involved in that as well. I saw the 101, yeah, and he's just RTG'd as well, so might be one for the stewards there. Hopefully nothing too malicious, but yeah, we'll continue on.
That's a bit odd. It's not something you see too often. I mean, the track is relatively small, so they are going to be grouped together a little bit. Racy over that curb, but yeah, I have to see if there's anything to come from that. As Holmes is 4/10 of a second up. It's been a long day, ladies and gents. 3/10 coming across the line. A 1:32.6. Yeah, we're ramping up. We're ramping up. There's still more to come, though. I think Peach saying he's done a 32.2 in practice. So yeah, he's got a big bag of tricks to pull from.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a 12-minute quali, not the longest amount of time to get a lap in. So sometimes you might not be able to do your best lap. As we see Lewis here, 4/10 up on his time. So I thought I saw 32.9, not 33.9. That's my bad. I got quite excited there. But he moves himself up to P5. Immediately gets beaten, though. I think that was Kugali, maybe, in the Aston that just pipped him there. And he pushes himself down to P6. Monk's here, our race winner from Silverstone. Let's see what he can do. The Aston, very, very good here. So has a lot of bop, 26 kilos if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how that affects the car, because it's really over about 20 kilos where you really start to feel the extra ballast. But he's on for a fairly solid lap time here. Definitely not as quick as I'd expect, but then again, we might see another 5/10 gained in the last sector.
Oh, we got a car off the track just there. I'm not sure who that is. I did see as well, it looked like Jamie Conboy, if you're not familiar, was pulled up at the end of the pit as we were looking at that earlier incident. So maybe just settings not quite right, but Nathan Monk's looking pretty good. It's not going to be enough to shake things up at the top of the world, but always like to see that green delta.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bit of more of a curse than a blessing, because you see like, oh, I'm 3/10 up, and it immediately disappears. As you go through the next corner with a little bit less focus than you would like, but 33.7, very respectable lap time, just on the edge of the top 10 there. So Monk's possibly struggling a little bit here. Obviously, some tracks suit some drivers better than others, but we'll see what he can do. Obviously, still 5 minutes in quali. That's just over 3 more laps halfway through. Just see Murphy here, about half a second up, loses a little bit through Knickerbrook. Very technical section of the track, if you can even call it more technical than the rest of it. I'm not sure if that's actually invalid or not, but we'll see when he crosses the line. Yeah, I think after the Nordschleifer update, it sort of broke the first out laps on a stint, which is definitely a kudos thing.
Yeah, it feels like when you jump on board with people, like often if we haven't been on board with them yet and it's red and it's like 3 minutes, it's like, yeah, something's not quite right. But
Up now. There's a NAB P2 at some point in the last couple minutes that we might have just missed. But yeah, McLaren seems fairly strong here is what I've noticed from the two splits last night. So we'll see. See how it goes. There we go. Holmes improves about a 10th. 32.560. Currently the provisional pole lap. See if anybody can best that. Cam Thistleway just jumps in. Exactly 2 tenths off that. In that the beautiful Scalextrics Bentley.
I really, really like the Scalextrics Bentley. I think it's honestly just good fun. It's mad.
It is good. I like how he kept the same livery as last season, but he's made a slight change. I know I mentioned this last week as well, but the metallic blue instead of the matte gives it a nice new lease on life, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure. And he's improving a little bit. There's a lot to go still, though. Personally, yeah, as you were sort of saying, I'm a dirty Delta watcher for sure, but it's so tempting.
It's addictive.
Yeah, taking a nice chunk of curb there as the Ferrari behind. I don't know that Ferrari's on a fast lap, not taking quite enough curb for my taste, but yeah, and there we go. It's kind of gone, and then it's kind of back. Wow, 3 tenths in
now.
Just is that his laps? Yes. No. Yes. But yeah, wow, 3 tenths. That'd be enough for pole.
Yeah. There you go.
Lock in, last corner. There's time to be made. There's time to be lost in this one. It's tricky. It's kind of cambered in like every direction. Oh, it's looking pretty good.
A little bit on the exit. It's going to be enough for pole. But wow, exactly. The Delta didn't lie this time. Was exactly 4 tenths up when exactly 4 tenths up.
So we got Josh Holmes is actually in the pit, so probably putting on a new pair of boots and going to go for one last lap.
Oh, it's a
bit of a slide.
And still up. Not anymore.
It's bleeding. It's bleeding. It's going away. These two actually head and shoulders above the rest, though. Sean Bubb now the only challenger, and he's still 4 tenths back from that. And then Chris Murphy, another 2 tenths from Bubb now. So we'll see if anyone else can shake up the top of the world, but for now it's in Cam Thistlewaite's hands.
It literally never happens. Murphy and Jeffcoat, the exact same lap time.
Oh, wow.
There you go. It's pretty close behind that as well. We've got 4 drivers in less than a tenth. There you go. He's not going back out for another lap. Okay, interesting. Quali is fairly important here. Obviously, you've got the 2 pit stops tonight, so 60-minute race with 2 mandatory stops. You don't have to take tyres, but it's only an extra 5 seconds. So we'll see how the guys do their strategy. Some might split into thirds. A lot of people are doing the half and half strategy, which I wasn't actually expecting. I thought I was going to be one of the only people that did that. But yeah, the pressure loss can be a bit of an issue here if you abuse the curbs a little bit too hard. So driving on tyres that are constantly slow leaking pressure, not too fun. So we'll see how the strategy pays off as we see Murphy here just touching a tenth up, and he keeps most of it actually out of the hairpin. Sometimes the Delta does lie to you a little bit there. See what he can do on this lap. He needs just under a tenth, about 800th to pip Bub now. That's all right. To pip Bub now of P3 at this point in time, and he's bang on that Delta that he needs with still a sector to go.
Going down through Hibbslops and up through Knickerbrook. I just wanted to say Knickerbrook, to be honest. That's a fun corner name. But he's holding on, still hovering just around that 10th, which will be enough, but it's a thin margin, a nice edge, if you will.
Yeah, we'll see what he could do at the final corner. Like you said last lap, it's a make or break corner. Very, very easy to get on the power too early, go just a little bit deep, and he does get a little bit of a twitch, but it doesn't actually affect him. He keeps the 10th up. This is going to be enough to just pip Bub now for P3. So we'll see if he can respond. Jeffco is done. Kugali is in the pit, so I reckon he's done as well. Lewis has finished his last lap. And Bub now does improve, but just not enough. 13,000
Wow.
split these two.
Wow, that's so close. Nathan Monks up 2/10. That's going to be a big jump if he can hold on to that.
Yeah, he might just... he's lost a little bit.
Oh.
He'll get Jeffco. I don't think he'll go much further than that, yeah.
Yeah, that's solid. Yeah,
Good luck,
wow.
Tom. Saxon here, 6/10 up. This could put him into the top 5, I reckon.
Yeah, that's huge if that's real.
I reckon it is. A little bit cautious through the final corner, but better safe than sorry, I guess. Still 6/10 up as he comes across the line. I don't think this is going to be good enough for the top 5, but yeah, just P6 by just under half a tenth. Well, and there you have it. Oh, we've got Curtis here, sorry, who doesn't seem to be improving on his lap time. He's basically banging on the same delta as his best, and yeah, doesn't improve, unfortunately. P18 will be where he starts.
So I think that's Saxon Hayes that we were just on board with. He's actually in silver class. I was about to say, what a lap from an amateur driver, but I was like, if that's Saxon Hayes, I think he's a bit further up than that.
Yeah, I have a feeling there might be some livery shenanigans going on there. I had that a couple seasons ago that my badge was AM, just because I hadn't submitted a livery yet.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And the funny thing is it does the opposite for the AMs. They go up to pro for whatever reason. So there's been a couple of times I'm like, wow, that pro's really far down, and then realize, oh, that actually is a bit of a bug.
Yeah. You're right. So our qualifying results, Cam Thistleweight, Peach actually called this dark horse for top. I mean, no disrespect to Cam Thistleweight, but very, very nicely done. Joshua Holmes, second place, and Chris Murphy running out your top 3, tidy 3 pros at the top. Sean Bubnow, Nathan Monks, Saxon Hayes, I believe it's Michael Jeffcoat, Cugley, Spence, and Lewis running out your top 10. Yeah.
LA struggled a little bit there, down in P12.
Yeah, actually.
Interesting battle for the silver class win, I reckon. So Bubnow, Monks, and Hayes right there together.
Yeah, Lele has been on a good run of form, actually. I feel like through the end of last season and into this one. So a little bit surprised to see him that far down. But this track is a really interesting one. Track position, really important.
Yeah.
And pit strategy can be a lot.
Yeah,
do you want to run us through that a little bit?
So
please,
like I mentioned earlier, so we've got a 60-minute race, actually 60 minutes this time around instead of 59, like last week. We've got 2 mandatory pit stops with a fixed refuel time of 25 seconds. A pit stop for tyres costs you 30 seconds. So there's about a 5-second discrepancy there. So we'll see what the drivers do. There's not too much that you lose by changing tyres, but there's also nowhere to overtake here at Oulton. So the undercut and the undercut and not changing tyres and gaining that 5 seconds on your competitors is worth a lot here, because it's very, very difficult to overtake, if nigh impossible, really. But yeah, we'll see how the strategy plays out. Obviously, 2 pit stops, people pit at different times. It's very easy to get stuck in traffic, and it's, like I said, it's difficult to pass, and obviously those drivers aren't obliged to move out the way if they're fighting for position. So we'll see what the drivers decide to do. Generally speaking, most drivers go for 3 20-minute stints, but that's the general case that I've seen in the past at other tracks with this sort of format. But it looks like last night, at least in split yellow and split green, a lot of drivers pitted about halfway, about 35 minutes or thereabouts, for tyres once, and then their second stop they just splashed and dashed. As we see the drivers pull away here for the formation lap, led away by Cam Thistleweight and Joshua Holmes.
Well, I was going to say, Glenn, are you going to talk about the 12-hour while we're doing the formation lap? Broadcast, give me the graphic, please.
So basically, Bathurst 12 hour coming up, not too far away. It's about 2 weeks away. Be there or be square. What else do I have to say?
So just something really important to note, if you've been umming and ahhing about the 12 hour, about racing in it yourself, you need to get your entry in lickety split. Like I'm talking tonight, pretty much. We're really rounding them out. So the qualification server is up, and that's running until Sunday the 9th of February. We're doing a fundraising event with Porsche Cup cars on Thursday the 13th at 8 p.m. Again, be there at B Square. Special thing, and I think mirroring the real event, the top 10 shootout happening 9 p.m. I'm assuming that's the day of. On Thursday the 13th, sorry. And then Saturday the 15th is when it's all happening, shakedown at 9 a.m. Driver's briefing 5 to 10 and race start 10 a.m. I mean, we've talked about it a bit. I'm sure everyone's a bit across it, but you know, it's going to be a great race beyond the fact that it's a charity event for Neil. And I mean, it's a really good cause. I'm going to be talking over it, and I hope everyone's going to be around, either racing or in the chat. Hopefully we can raise some good money for him to make things a little bit easier for them. Anything to add, Bruno or Glenn?
I reckon you got it all.
Thank you.
And perfect timing as well for the race start.
So take us away, Bruno.
So here we go. The cars are coming down the pit straight here at Oulton Park. The lights go green. Cam Thistleway and Josh Holmes both get a pretty good launch. Josh Holmes, I reckon, just gets a slightly better one. Can't really do much around the outside as we're going what looks to be 3 wide. Yes, it is. There is an Aston off on the left-hand side there. As we go, oh, what's happened to Murphy there? That's a really weird one. That almost looked like netcode. That is a big shunt into the wall. That's not good. But other than that, the top two have pulled away. Looks like Thistleway has pulled a bit of a gap. As we look down further in the field, we're on board with Diabols here in the Mustang. Started P17 or P16, if I'm not mistaken. I think he stayed about where he was. No, P20. Looks like that's actually live. As we see another McLaren. Wow, it's all kicking off on this first lap. We got a McLaren in the wall. Curtis goes around the outside. We got a bit of argy-bargy into the chicane, and the Ferrari just spins on the grass and gets a little nudge. That's a little bit unfortunate. We'll see if that's worth a safety car. Oh no. Oh, it's painful.
That is painful.
Yep.
Oh, I think that was also our AM class leader, which that hurts. Put himself in a pretty good position, but unfortunately that's gone. Did a good job holding the brakes. Most of everyone got around relatively okay. There was a bit of a nudge, but wow, Josh Holmes closed that gap a bit. I was going to say, as you were going, Cam Thistleway had gotten away like 2 car lengths, and they're all back together now. Holmes actually peeking the nose a little bit just to show Thistleway, hey mate, I'm here, you better be ready.
Yeah, 100%. And JC goes for the pit on the first lap. We'll see how that strategy plays off for him. I think he qualified P11, so just a touch outside the top 10. Obviously not his qualifying or not his track. We'll see what his race pace has to say as this race develops. But yeah, these Bentleys, nothing between them. Josh Holmes seems to have a bit of a pace advantage at this point. Like it's not easy at all to stick close to the car ahead. You can't see the apexes, you can't see the curbs, and obviously every single curb is out to get you here. So you just want to be a little bit more cautious. But Cam Thistleway is holding Josh Holmes off for the time being. They've pulled a little bit of a gap to Bub now, who's got a little bit of a gap to Monks behind. Saxon Hayes just behind as well. And there's a bit of a gap back to Spence and Rondinella, who are fighting it out for the Pro-Am lead at this point in time. So here we have JC right at the back, and Ben Curtis comes in for the lap 1 strat as well. So we'll see what this does for these guys. Obviously a bunch of clean air. You don't have to worry about drivers around you. but the tyres can grain a little bit in the pit stop, and pressure loss, as I mentioned earlier, is a little bit of an issue for some drivers here as well.
So did we see Ben Curtis? Was he the one that nipped that that spun Ferrari? So he might have had a little bit of damage as well, seeing as he's a fair bit behind where Jamie Conboy came out.
Yeah, that's correct. I don't know how much damage it would have been, but from my experience, it shouldn't have been too much. Not enough to affect the car really, but it's better to repair damage, I guess, than to sort of live with it, unless it's under 5 seconds or so. To see Zach Jensen comes into the pit, so a lot of people adopting this this lap 1 strategy. I don't think we saw it much last night. As far as I know, as we see Josh Holmes right on the back, so it looks like he's much quicker in Sector 1. But Thistleway just pulls away a little bit, especially up the hill here. I noticed, yeah, he goes a little bit wide. Very easy, like you just don't know where the curb is, especially with a Bentley in front of you, the big fridge. There's not much you can see past that, I don't think. So Josh Holmes obviously doesn't want to clip the bad curb. It just sort of takes it a little bit safer, and obviously that's unfortunately dropped him back a little bit, but he lives to fight another day, and I reckon we'll see him right under that rear wing very, very soon.
Yeah, I think as you said, as we come back into Sector 1, he'll probably be right back up on it. But yeah, as you were sort of saying, I know Taufik in my split last night. Yeah, he ran that early stop, and I think it paid a fair bit of dividends for him, I believe. Again, not sure if that was due to cars dying, but I think he qualified in the lower half of the top 10 and finished in 4th. So big ups to Taufik, good strat. Yeah, I reckon if you've got the pace, I think for Jamie Conboy, that was the call. You're kind of down middling at the pack, but he has pace. Jamie Conboy has pace. Come on, we all know that. And so I think just getting out into that fresh air, and he's got plenty of fresh air in front of him. We'll see how it progresses if he does run into traffic. But yeah, I do think that was the right call for him.
Yeah, 100%. We'll see what the top guys do as well with their strategy. Obviously, it almost pay off for Holmes here, as we see Cam Thistleway jumps the curb a little bit. Gets almost look like he got airborne there, but probably not. Just the suspension just drooping a little. But yeah, we'll see what these guys do strategy-wise. It almost seems like it might be the better strat for Joshua in P2, just stuck behind Cam for this point in time. To pit now and just get the clean air and go for the undercut, and just make the overtake in the pits and on the strategy. But I guess he might wait a couple laps, just see if Thistleway's going to make a mistake, and then we might see him peel into the pits. We might not. I'll be curious to see how the race unfolds.
As you sort of said, it looks like he has the pace. So if he can get in the pits and get out in fresh air and get that undercut happening with that pace, then yeah, that could be the move. But he might, I don't know, he might just want to race, Craig Dale in chat saying Neil Wood is up 9 spots from the start, so that's incredible. I don't really even know how you manage that here without significant death. We did see a few cars off on lap 1, but yeah, that's right. Chris Murphy went off. Oh, I think we're gonna see. Wow, speaking of. So, yeah, Chris Murphy getting, that's Porsche things over that curb, I think. That's rough. And bouncy into the wall. That curb, I've never even tried to take it. It looks murderous in its eyes, you can see it. So I'm not surprised that played out like that. Neil Wood is up 9 spots. I think so. Something may have happened. But yeah, so looking like our top 2 have broken away from Sean Bubnell a little bit, which if you extrapolated the quality times, you could kind of see that happening. But Nathan Monks is all over the back of Bubnell still like a bad rash. But Saxon Hayes falling off just a little bit. If you're not familiar with Alta Park, it is a little bit of a procession, as we've been talking about. You're not really going to get overtakes done on track, except by forcing pressure. Forcing an issue through pressure. But these guys at the top, they're professionals. They aren't going to succumb to that kind of pressure very, very often. So following along with Neil Wood, up 10 positions, and there's a small mistake. As Tony Spence copping a 15-second penalty for a collision on lap 1. That might have been when we were seeing there was someone very far on the left in the sort of mid to late pack.
I'll jump in, Blake, saying we seem to have lost Breno for a minute. I'll have a look for that replay of what happened with Tony Spence, but G Murph hit that wall hard.
Yeah, that was rough. I didn't realize that Breno was kind of gone at that point. I was waiting for him to input something. I was like, Breno, please. Neil Wood is actually again like all over the back of Cugley. Cugley looking a little bit squirrely through a couple of these corners, so I was saying that pressure can be real. But yeah, where is Chris Murphy at this point in the race?
Murphy's just finding.
Is he all the way past Jamie Conboy? Oh, a jump start for Jonathan Hislop.
I think Murph might have pulled the pin.
Oh, that's rough. So Neil Wood falling off the back of Lewis Cugley a little bit after I was just hyping him up.
We've got Lele in the pits doing the first stop.
So Lele in the pits. It's mildly early. Interesting kind of... I'm not even sure what to call that, because yeah, we're obviously not at the third section. It's just going early, but not as early as the beginning of the race. Looks like number 8 is still in some pretty clear air, so can't complain too much about it, as we have another penalty going through. I actually missed that. I think it was Brownett.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so Brownett
619.
619 McLaren Brownett with a 15-second penalty, and we have another jumping the start penalty. I feel like the stewards have been had a closer eye on that in comparison to last season, or maybe everyone was better behaved, but we'll see. So that was Luca Preciado, I believe, getting that jumping the start penalty. Why does Nathan Monk's car have a thong on it? It has to be said. I'm pretty sure. Have you not noticed the pink triangle on the back?
Oh, I have now.
I'm pretty sure Tim Go made that livery, and I'm pretty sure he said he did it on purpose. It's just a little bit silly.
Well, I mean, what Nathan chooses to wear in his privacy of his own house is, up to him. If he wants to advertise it, well, good luck to him.
Nathan Monk says, looking good though, again. In spite of the thong.
Oh, in spite of, or due to?
I don't know. I'm leaving that one alone. I'm leaving that one for the stewards.
Yeah, he might get a drive-through for that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's definitely Mankini.
Yeah. Sorry for opening all of your eyes in chat to that thong. I'm just like, I don't know. Did no one like look at it and sort of go, that's a bit odd? Like the rest of the car is in that sort of classic British racing green with the highlights, the Aston highlights, and there's just a bright pink triangle on the back.
I hadn't even I haven't even spotted it until you pointed it out. So
So jumping back to our leaders, Camp Thistleway.
this is still tight.
Still
Very
in
tight.
charge, but yeah, these two inseparable right now. Josh Holmes still maintaining that within a second.
They've pulled 4 seconds on Sean Bubb now.
Yeah.
So they've well and truly broken away.
Yeah, for sure. As Breno was alluding to earlier, I do wonder if Josh Holmes should pull the pin on this stint a little bit and try and do the, like, initiate an undercut. But as I said, maybe he wants to pass him on track just for the thrill, you know?
It would be quite impressive, I will be honest, if you can overtake without a mistake.
Like that? Big slide. Big slide.
Bit of a slide.
This British GTR much?
Definitely. That's very, very scary when you go a little bit wider. You go a little bit too hot into the double right in sector 3. It's very, very easy to go a little bit wide, and once you touch the grass... No, please, no. Oh, that's
Oh my.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd need to see that again, but I'm generally let stewards do their job, but my oh my. I mean, that's what we mean. It's so hard to get a pass done, but I'm not sure if Cam...
Oh, no.
Is that Ben Curtis?
Mr. Curtis off there. I think I know exactly what he's done.
Do you think he's hit that inside curve and then slung it out into the grass? It's probably the worst place to try and rejoin as well, considering those walls.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty difficult, and even the place where they allocate for you to rejoin the track is pretty bloody deadly as well. The little gap in the fence there, which puts you right on the apex of the hairpin.
Yeah, it's bad. I was discussing, because this happened to my mate Lucas Marshall last night. Like, he was lucky there was no one really around him, so he just drove on the track. Easy done, but as we're just going to see a replay of what happens.
Just go.
Ooh!
Oh, poor snap.
Wowee.
There you go. Oh, and a little drift tap on the wall. That's beautiful.
That's interesting. Just kind of missed, and we're doing donuts in the grass. Yeah, like, because you're kind of in that gap, and it's a bit hard to see the oncoming cars.
No. Oh, he manages to escape it. Oh, no, he's got through. Oh, no, you're going to go side by side as Jeffcoat gets 15-second penalty for causing a collision. Oh, that's a big slide from Thistleweight. Holmes, that is incredibly brave, my friend. It doesn't matter, he's fully alongside.
Through Island?
They're going to do it, and Thistleweight is going to come out on top. There's no way Holmes goes around the outside here. If he does, no, he has to concede. David Marsh, 15-second penalty for an unsafe rejoin as well. Oh, the penalties are starting to stack up here in Split Blue, unfortunately, but what have we just witnessed there, Blake?
That was incredible. That was such good racing. I'm glad that it went a bit better the second time. The absolute cojones to go side by side through Island is unmatched, unrivaled. This guy knows it.
Maybe that's why they've chosen the biggest car in the game. They needed it to fit.
Yeah, this guy Knives saying two boats attacking each other. We are witnessing ship-to-ship combat right now. When they go side by side away with those cannons,
The cannons are getting loaded.
Oh my! I think Josh Holmes is. They have that. They have their battle through Sector 1, and then Josh Holmes is loading those cannons as he goes back around.
Yeah. And he pulls in.
There we go. Okay, interesting. So Josh Holmes maybe just conceding that he's not going to be able to get it done on the track and looking for that undercut. We'll see if Thistleweight comes in to respond immediately the next lap.
Yeah, I think if I'm Thistleweight here, I wait to see where my rival comes out. If he comes out into traffic, I stay out. If he doesn't, if he comes out to clean out, I need to respond. Unfortunately, he's going to be 3/4 of the way through a lap before that happens.
Yeah, but Thistleweight is coming into his own traffic.
Yeah, so Holmes is still stationary, He's just started moving now, so he's about, I'd say about 6 to 8 seconds behind the 72 there. Maybe a little bit more as he obviously isn't up to speed coming out of the pit lane, but with the pace difference between himself and the guys ahead, won't be too long until he catches them. So we'll see what Thistleway does here. Obviously, blue flag traffic is a little bit nicer to deal with than traffic on the same lap but a pit stop down, because there's no obligation to get out the way for the guys that are on the same lap. As much as it's hurting everybody's race, there's no obligation to get out the way, unfortunately. So we'll see what Holmes can do. He does come out, I want to say, probably about 10 seconds ahead of Convoy, who's just rounding the hairpin now. As we see Thistleway go wide a little bit there, so maybe just struggling a little bit with the tyres. And he does decide to not immediately respond. We'll see what he does. Obviously, a couple of struggling back markers coming up ahead. So we'll see how he navigates those over the next couple of laps.
I'd be pretty torn if I was Thistleway, but the way the car is moving, I would be considering coming into the pits, because he looks like he's struggling a little bit.
Yeah, if you do you try and take those tyres to the end though, or do you pit again with 20 minutes to go? Your second mandatory, you go for tyres again.
That's also a good point. Like, was where get. Oh,
okay.
I believe this is live pictures. No replay here.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
So Josh Holmes, yeah, it's like pretty clean air. I know he will catch those people, but there's only a handful of cars in front of him.
Yeah, the 777, and I think that's Jeff Code ahead in the 212 are actually battling, or like fairly close on track. So that could be problematic for Holmes when he does catch them, which probably be 3 laps time, I reckon, as the F1 striking distance little UI alludes to. But yeah, we'll see how this goes compared to Thistleway, because he did seem to be struggling a little bit on those tyres. It's funny what happens when you're just left alone a little bit. Like, you're not looking in the mirrors that much anymore. You don't have somebody there to like sort of push you along, push you to do faster laps. You sort of just got a lap in clean air, and it's funny how many mistakes, like little mistakes, you start making. Or, as we see Holmes, a little bit of a nice transition there from one drift to the next, but that's not gonna help his tyres, not gonna help his chances getting Thistleway here. But as we go back on board, yeah, he's right up to the McLaren here. I'm not actually sure who that is. It's not. It's a blue flag, so it does well. Gets out the way before the corner. Is he going to let the other McLaren through? Yeah, nice. Very solid effort there to let them both through. As we see a bunch of people jump into the pits. We've got Spence, we've got Kugali, we've got Kung, we've got Hards, all peel into the pits for their first mandatory.
Yeah, so following that sort of the splitting the race into thirds. I think if you're splitting into thirds, I would be tempted to just take tyres both times. If you're running, like, not fighting right at the top, just anywhere else. Like, I think the tyres is probably good enough to offset that 5 seconds. Not like me, who ran like 35 minutes in and then pitted with 10 minutes to go. But Thistleway just getting around that blue flag as well. Not too much drama there.
Yeah, he's been pretty lucky that these guys... Oh, sorry, this is Cam Thistleway we're on board with. So yeah, there'll all be blue flags for our leader at this point in time. I don't think we'll be able to say the same for Mr. Holmes, who's probably approaching those drivers. I'm just trying to find his number on the track map. Here we go. We've got him on board. So yeah, less than a second, I reckon, to the Lambo ahead, who is actually a blue flag. So it's Jeff Coat who is ahead. Jeff Coat is way up the road.
This is looking
What's
good.
happened here?
I think for Holmes, were all the people that were in front of him? Were they the ones that just peeled into the pits?
They must have, because like he's got nobody. The next car is 21 seconds ahead. This is absolutely perfect for Holmes.
It's all coming out jam-wise.
Yep. Which is a blue flag. Jeff Coate will have to serve his penalty in the stop, so we'll see. Oh, well, he's going to pass him anyway. What am I saying? It's going to be interesting. Very interesting. Oh. But we'll see what the Astons can do, because I know the Aston is very, very good on tyres. They might actually be able to go a little bit longer, which might honestly be a little bit better. So I found the tyres didn't actually go off that badly for myself in the Porsche last night. I easily could have gone 45 minutes, I think, without losing too much pace. I just decided I was stuck behind Glory in the Mercedes ahead. I'm just like, oh mate, I'm sticking within like 6/10 here. The only reason I couldn't get past is because Oulton Park, it's very, very hard to follow here. I reckon I had a bit of a pace advantage on him, but so I decided to jump into the pits a little bit earlier than I had originally planned. I originally planned, oh, it's a bit of a slide there for Cam Thistlethwaite. Those tyres don't seem to be too good at this point in time, but sometimes they do ebb and flow. I've found they can go off for a couple of laps and then bang, a couple of laps later, they come back to you just a little bit. So, but yeah, last night I jumped into the pits a little bit too early. I decided to try and clear both pit stops at the same time. It was not the strategy in the end. Got caught up in traffic, and I reckon that's what unfortunately lost me the race, because I was only a second and a bit behind Glory across the line. What's happened here?
Did you just... We saw the Joker car come together with someone in the background of Thistlethwaite on a Sunday drive, and they're going to war in the background. Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, so I was so focused on the Bentley that I completely ignored everything that was going on in the background.
I think Cam Thistlethwaite's approaching the point of pitting. You could pit and take one set of tyres and not take them the second time, and then just be like, I think there was a lot of pressure being put on from Josh Holmes that probably made Cam use up those tyres, because I think it appears that Josh Holmes has a bit more pace than Cam, but Cam obviously had the track position and was working really hard to keep it, and the tyres, they paid the price. So if I was him, I would be thinking about it pretty strongly.
Yeah,
see, like we're just
that point.
We're just watching like quite a few mistakes, you know, and it's gonna add up. And he is got more traffic than Josh does.
Yeah, we'll see what his strategy looks like. It might be a pit halfway and then pit on the last lap for, I would say splash and dash, but it's not really a dash. It's more of just a splash and sit there for another 20 seconds the fixed refuel, which doesn't help your tyres because they do cool down. I know Glory said to me last night that the last 2 laps, his tyres felt absolutely awful after he pitted for just a splash and dash on the second to last lap. And it was reflected in the time. I think I caught a second and a half on him in 2 laps.
I am going to interrupt you. I think we just saw the 72 car have... Oh, Cam, this is coming in. Too much is happening. The 72 car, I think... RTG'd and then quit. And then I think Jeff Coate may have had an issue at Shell Oil's corner, the hairpin. I'm not 100% sure, but someone was yellowed up there. And there was a battle, and now he's 13 seconds down, so I do think Jeff Coate, something's happened to him.
Yeah, definitely. He was 20 seconds or so ahead of Holmes, and now it's only 4, so I think there's something there. If we're able to find the replay, that would be awesome. Yeah, we're just on board with Thistlethwaite here, serving his first pit stop. I imagine this is probably going to be for tyres, and we'll see what he does for the second pit stop later on. So here we go. So this is what we saw in the background. Well, I didn't see in the background. Your lovely Blake Griffiths managed to catch it. Yeah. And
yeah.
Is that Bub now behind? I saw a blue McLaren, so he just had to take evasive action and just drives across the grass. So yeah, I think it was Bub now. So that's a bit of time lost for him. Not sure really who his battle is at this point in time. Monk's 1.4 seconds behind, so I reckon that's it. Convoy up into the top 10, 7 tenths behind. We'll see. I'll reckon if we can find that Jeff coat. So it looks like he had a bit of a whoopsie because he lost about 10 seconds or so. All good. But yeah, I think Holmes has timed this first pit stop to perfection. He's got all the traffic. Well, he's got all the clean air, sorry. And when he has approached the traffic, I reckon we'll see Jeff Coat and Ellis. Well, Ellis is 20 seconds ahead, so we'll see Jeff Coat peel into the pits pretty soon. Probably just about as when Holmes catches him. So I think Holmes has absolutely nailed this on the head.
Yeah, I was about to say we were kind of like there was a lot that just happened in the span of about 2 minutes, but Josh Holmes is ahead of Cam Thistlethwaite now by 3 seconds. So Josh Holmes' early pit stop paying dividends, I think, relatively significantly. That's really nice, and I applaud the strategy because I think it was well done.
Yeah, I think the undercut is always going to be strong here. But we'll see. There's obviously still a pit stop to go, still half an hour. We're not even halfway through the race, so looks like we've got an onboard here of Jeff Coat. He just tries it and doesn't get it. He does really, really well to not absolutely obliterate the wall there.
Yeah. It's nice rally maneuver, pull the handbrake, hit the wall with the rear rather than the front, where the important stuff is. Maybe less so in the McLaren, but that's
less important stuff like the rear wing. But nah, it's at this track, I think a little bit of oversteer probably isn't the end of the world, whereas a bit of understeer, I'll let you be the judge.
Yeah, but trying to go too wide through Island, we saw Josh Holmes and Cam Thistlethwaite navigate it successfully, but it's really not easy. We've touched on it a few times, but Oulton Park is pretty much a one-line track, which is why it's so hard to get a pass done on track. And that there is the result of, trying to make something happen offline.
Yep. Yeah, ambition outweighed talent there, unfortunately. But it looks like Thistlethwaite has gained about 3/10 on Holmes in that last lap there. So 33.3 for Holmes. We'll see what Thistlethwaite's done, because Thistlethwaite is going to have about 10, 12 minute newer tyres or thereabouts. So we'll see how much of a difference that makes. And we'll see if Holmes does pit again for tyres for the last 20 minutes and just goes like a bat out of hell for those last like 15, or not 15, so like last 12 laps or so.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask. Is Holmes going to take tyres next time? Or I guess it's probably going to be dependent on what that gap is. Because if he can... I mean, I don't know if I see him pushing it up to 5 seconds. If you're within that 5, it'd be a bit of a stretch.
Ooh. Yeah, track position is absolutely king here. This is like the Monaco of ACC. So yeah, and even on slightly used tires, it's not easy to get past. It's not easy. So it's an easy track to defend that, is what I'm trying to say, even with slightly less good tires. As we jump on board with Neil Wood here. So apparently 9 positions up on his starting position. Currently just a pip outside the top 10 here. I think everybody has completed their first mandatory pit stop. If I'm not mistaken, there might be... yep, Saxon has just jumped in then, so yep, they have. So that's interesting. We don't have too many people going long. Thought there might be 1 or 2. I think we had a couple. I think we had 1 or 2 in each split last night that just went long. Maybe for the airtime. JC jumps in for his second pit stop, so I reckon he's going to do tyres and just go to the end now. So we'll see where he will come out. If he gets clean air again, it's going to be a little bit more difficult now that the field's a bit more spread out. But I know JC probably has a couple. As the McLarens get very close there. Neil Wood goes a little bit wide. Is he going to be able to hold it from Spence? I believe that's behind. No, he just backs out and lets Spence go through.
Yeah, I think that's wise. Trying to go, as we were just talking about it, going too wide down through Cascades, pretty tricky. So just hold on, reconsolidate. I mean, look, he's already really, really close to the back of him again. Come on, you can take more curb than that. I don't care. Take more curb for my enjoyment, please. I think also the Ferrari Ellis back there could take more curb, but maybe he's suffering some serious pressure loss. Kent Thistleweight, 32.7, pretty racy for in-race pace. Point 8. Whoa, that is significant. That's been very quick. That was 3 seconds last time we were on board with them.
Yeah, so maybe Holmes didn't take tyres at that stop and is going to pit in the next couple minutes. Or maybe he did take tyres and they've just gone, oh, I can't imagine they go off this quickly though.
It's only been for like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I mean. Like even the Mustang can do that long on a set of tyres.
Even the Mustang.
Ellis
Has he had a moment?
Drive through, which I think he just finished serving, so I believe that was probably for track limits, if not speeding in the pits. But that's going to drop him back a little bit. Brownette comes in for his second pit stop. But sorry for cutting you off, Blake.
No, that's okay. But yeah, I'm wondering, like 3 seconds is a pretty big chunk for someone of Jamwise's caliber. So I'm wondering if he's had a bit of a moment, but we are seeing a bit of an inverse now as Cam Thistleweight is on the prowl. Oh, getting very, very close. I can't tell where one Bentley begins and the other ends.
Yeah, so last lap 33.6 compared to, I assume, Thistlewaite's high 32.
Yeah.
I would expect him to lose just a little bit on his best that lap, being so close to Holmes in front. But
we
see how this goes. I reckon if Thistlewaite gets past Holmes, I reckon he dives into the pits straight away.
Oh.
Looking into Island Bend, that is a bold move.
That's naughty.
Oh, I thought he touched the grass there a little bit. I feel as if there was a little bit of counter steering going on there from Joshua Holmes. We'll see if he can hang on, because it doesn't matter really what the pace difference is here. If Holmes can... Oh, there's a massive track, like a massive curb cut.
That's the right amount of curb cutting.
But yeah, as long as Holmes puts the car in the right spot and doesn't make a significant mistake, knock on wood, I don't think Thistlewaite's going to be able to get past, regardless of the pace advantage at this point. And I think it's just going to come down to the pit stops, the second mandatory to serve.
Yeah, but does Jamwise need to take tyres the next time? Like, yeah.
I think if he can push this for at least another 5 minutes, which is 3 laps. Oh yeah, actually. Because he's losing so much a lap, yeah.
Yeah, that's something like. I mean, you can do it, right? I don't know. We'll see.
Unless he didn't take tyres in the first stop, and that's why he got that much of an undercut on.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, is he going to run the whole race no tyres, or is he going to have to take tyres, and that's an extra 5 seconds to Cam Thistlewaite's? Cam Thistleweight only came in 10 minutes ago. Cam Thistleweight, showing the nose again, you dirty dog.
Jensen jumps into the pits to serve his second mandatory. I think he'd be pretty close. Yeah, 1.1 seconds off Rondinella. I'm not sure if that's just because he's pitted and Rondinella's gone past, but if that is actually the gap before they pitted, that's 1 second between your Pro-Am battle for P1. So this could be the difference here. I mean, to be fair, we say there's not much good racing at Oulton Park and like yada yada, but like at least in split yellow, we had 3 cars within a second or a second and a bit for a good 20 minutes. We've seen Holmes and Thistleweight trading blows for the best part of 40 minutes of this race. nose to tail. So maybe not so much side-by-side action that some people expect, but the actual like close battles that you get on track like this, nose to tail kind of battles, definitely Oulton Park lends itself to that.
I think it depends what you're into, really. I mean, I think this is pretty thrilling, and I think also like the strategy aspect is really, really interesting to me, particularly obviously as we're all just having fun in our computer games. Like it's just you behind the wheel and you're making those calls yourself as you're driving. Like it's a lot more difficult than real racing where you have a team. Oh, this way it looks really aggressive. But yeah, like I think it's really interesting to see how it all shakes out. Holmes, I think that aggression didn't pay off there for Thistleweight, but it looks like he's probably going to close that back up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be a game of cat and mouse here, I reckon. You get close, you can't see a curb, or you can't see the apex, drop back a little bit, have the pace advantage, catch back up. So, well, it's interesting. Both of these guys still have a pit stop to go, so is it almost worth it for Thistleweight to go for the undercut this time? Seeing as how well it worked for Holmes.
Now that is spicy. That would be really, really interesting to me. So Thistleweight came in halfway through. He could definitely run the tires all the way.
I would almost recommend it pitting as late as he possibly can, because as soon as he pits, those tires are not going to feel as good as they were before. But he's obviously got Holmes ahead, which is probably slowing him down just a touch, even inadvertently. Okay, I thought Thistleweight was pulling in to the pits there, but no, he just gets a really wayward on the exit there. We're still fishtailing almost to the pit entry. So didn't get the final corner that he probably would have wanted.
So David Marsh in the pits serving at 15 seconds for an unsafe rejoin, I believe, a little bit earlier. He is your current leader of AM class.
Yeah, I think he's...
Actually, no, never mind, not anymore.
No, Nash comes back through to reclaim that position. He's still in the pits. I guess he hasn't started moving yet, because I'm worried that hasn't cleared. Still not moving, so maybe some damage. I think he's underneath, looks like Rondinelli. Yeah, Rondinelli's jumped in for his final stop. We'll see where he comes out. I think he was fighting Jensen, but then again, the timing tower might have been lying to me. I didn't catch it before Jensen jumped into the pits. But we'll see. The Pro-Am battle might heat up here with these final pit stops, as the overall battle is also heating up, or is continuing to warm up, as if it wasn't warm already. Cam Thistleway, as you expected. Blake is caught right back up to Holmes again after a little bit of a setback, and is pestering the back of that fridge once again.
These boats be fighting on tropical waters. I'm interested to see that chunk of Pro-Ams 6 through 10 and Rondinella was in that battle, how their pit stops shake out, because that's obviously for the class win. And it's relatively close. It's not that close.
Bub now comes in to serve his final stop. That's going to be interesting. If he doesn't change tyres here, they're going to feel pretty second-hand, I get the feeling, for this last 18 minutes. Granted, his fight really isn't ahead. It's actually to Monks behind, who I think was about 1.8, 1.6, something like that behind last time I checked the timing tower. So we might see Monks take another class win here, depending on how he decides to play out his strategy. Still has Saxon behind, 5.6 seconds. Nothing crazy, but 5.6 is one mediocre mistake worth, especially here. That's going a little bit wider corner, a little bit of a spin, which you can never count out here.
We should actually keep an eye on Saxon Hayes as well, who is in silver, not in M, if you missed that earlier, so that he is actually right in that battle.
Yep, we've got the top three in silver class, all 3 consecutive positions on track as well. Granted, the gaps are a little bit larger than we see at the front here between the two British boats, as Holmes jumps into the pits. That's very... Oh, no, he does. Okay. I thought that was a little bit hot, but no, pulls it up. I was looking at the wrong line.
Yeah, me too. But it looked a little bit sideways. But yeah, Josh Holmes pulling the trigger first.
Like a pretty solid pit stop. So get your Mississippis out to see if he changes tyres or not.
Oh my god, I'm too tired. Who was ahead of Josh Holmes and Kemp Thistlethwaite before he just went in the pits?
I didn't really see, to be honest.
They were literally too close. I think Holmes was in front, right? Because Thistlethwaite was following behind with more pace.
Oh, yes. Yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I thought you meant like the blue flag that was ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No clue. But yes, no, Holmes was leading that one on track. He just gets dropped now and will be exiting the pits soon.
I don't think that was tyres. That was pretty quick.
We'll see. We'll see. If it's not tyres, well, I guess we'll see when Thistlethwaite comes out. If it's more than maybe 2.5 seconds, we'll know that he probably hasn't changed tyres. We'll also be able to tell by his pace, I reckon. So if it's in the 32s, he's probably changed tyres. Spence comes in, clears his final pit stop, so we'll see where this puts him in respect of Jensen and Rondinella. He did have that 15-second penalty earlier, so probably a little bit further back than he would have been. I think he was in the top 6, if I'm not mistaken, at the beginning of the race before he got that infringement. So 32.9 for Cam Thistlethwaite last lap, so we'll see how he can do, because now he's got clean air, no Joshua Holmes in front. He could probably push a little bit harder. Doesn't want to push too hard, as we saw in the first stint. Those tyres did go off for him a little bit. Still has a pit stop to go, so it's really all to play for here. We'll see what he decides to do on the strategy. Obviously has plenty of more tyre life than Holmes does. Well, did. We don't know if he's continued on the old tyres or if he's swapped them over. Time will tell.
I think that's Harry Murphy in chat. Is saying...
does look like the same icon, same profile picture,
yeah.
So.
Saying that he thinks he took tyres. Joshua Holmes took tyres.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. If I'm being honest, it didn't feel like he took them in the first stint, so it makes sense to take them in the second and just go like a bat from hell to the end of the race and see if he can undercut Thistlethwaite here. But it's going to be spicy to the end between the two Bentleys. Oh, that's a little bit wide. It's always really scary, especially from the TV cam when you see cars doing that, because it's millimeters between surviving and not.
Yeah, I find that corner is hard to really commit to it. It's hard to believe because it feels like you get it wrong. It feels like it's going to be really, really wrong because it's quite fast. I found myself, especially in the race, just lifting that little bit more or just keeping the brakes on for a little bit longer just to make sure I was getting all the way around.
Yeah, I find once you come around, you can sort of let off the accelerator. If you feel as if you're going to be going wide a little bit, as long as you have the wheel straight, you can usually ride the curb even onto the gravel. As Thistlethwaite goes a little bit wide, that's very close for the Aston behind. Lewis jumps in to serve his final mandatory. But I find if you lift off and have the wheel straight, you can usually get away with it. Obviously, that's not always the case. But that's usually my strategy. But yeah, it's definitely one that you want to take a little bit safer than maybe some of the other corners on the track, just in case, because when it goes wrong, being so high speed, it goes wrong catastrophically.
We've got a yellow ahead, 83.
Oh, Curtis says, I reckon he's clipped the inside curve there, and it's just picked him up and bounced the front.
Sadness, Mustang sadness.
Yeah. Funnily enough, it can't really take the curbs as well as you'd expect here at Oulton this far, from what I've heard at least. I could be wrong. But it's usually a bit of a demon on the curbs, so to see it struggle a little bit is secretly quite pleasing to me.
I was about to say, you won't see any tears from me. I am fine with that.
Thistlethwaite last lap 33.2, a couple of mistakes and the blue flag, so See what Holmes does. Saxon Hayes got himself a drive-through. I'm not sure if that was for the track limits or for the pit stop. Probably track limits, though, I reckon. Turn 1 is a bit of a bastard for them here at Oulton Park. Very, very easy to go wide. And the worst thing about the track limits is they narrow off as you get closer to the exit of the corner. So you think if you keep the wheel straight, surely I'd be fine if I didn't invalidate on the originally. But no, you gotta veer right just a touch. Otherwise, it can get you. He jumps in immediately to serve that one.
That's rough.
Yeah, that's definitely going to put him out of contention for the silver podium here. We'll see where he comes out in relation to Lele. He might just actually be ahead. Still. Oh, he'll be ahead now, but once he serves the penalty. So you see, I think that's Spence and the McLaren there. Not really doing a whole lot to let Thistleweight through here, which is going to be costing him a little bit of time. Oh my goodness gracious me, fellas. That is not the place.
Not the place.
Yeah, not the place to be letting the leaders through. I understand it's a difficult track for the back markers, but that's not the place to do it. That could have gone very wrong.
Not even really sure if that was letting him through or just a bit of a mistake. That was spicy.
Yeah, the impromptu let through. Yeah, we've only got 4 cars.
Well, yeah, well, speaking of, JC looking pretty good drive. Up in, was that 6th? Yeah, from starting, what, 10th, 11th?
Yeah, I think it was 11th. Yep.
Nicely done.
So yeah, the clean air obviously has helped his case here. He has Jump Up now, who was P3 on the grid, if I'm not mistaken. So look out, we might see a JC strategy masterclass, and maybe even a podium here, depending on how things go. And Josh Holmes just does a 32.5, so he definitely has changed tyres.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very, very interesting. I almost want to place my money on Holmes at this point in time. Doing lap times like that compared to Thistlewaite's low 33s, if he can keep that sort of pace up. As we see, JC comes across the line. What do we reckon he's done? 33.7, so a respectable lap time. Nothing crazy, but...
Yeah, but he's been on those tyres for 20-ish minutes now, remember? Because he pitted, like, first lap, and then obviously wouldn't have taken tyres then and took tyres second time.
Yeah.
So, not expecting anything too racy.
Comes in. Looks like he just got it stopped in time. So 36.0 last lap, but that was with a pit entry. So this is it. Monks also hasn't pitted yet. So we'll see where he comes out in relation to Bub now, because those guys were battling for the silver class win. Monks was about 1.1 seconds behind last time I checked, assuming that timing was correct.
Oh, so, this is going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tight. I think Holmes might just have it. I think, yeah, Cam has to start moving. Oh my goodness gracious me, it's too close to call. It's too close to call. This one's coming around. Josh Holmes, 36.4.
Fastest lap. This way's done it.
This way comes out ahead, but there's no way he would have changed tyres.
No.
So 8 minutes Holmes has.
He's got to get it on the track. That's big ask, tall order.
Very tall order.
But I think, and he has to, if I was him, I mean, there's a good, second there, but when Thistlewaite's tyres, obviously, after sitting there for 30 seconds, they're going to feel, as you said, like a used set. Well, like a second-hand set, or obviously are literally used. So now would be the time to strike.
Yeah, that's very, very close. So it's interesting that Thistleway didn't actually lose that much in the stop. So 3.2, so only lost about 1.8 seconds compared to Holmes over the, what was that, about 3 or 4 laps overcut that he did on that second pit stop. Because he would have gained about 5 seconds by not changing the tyres compared to Holmes. But we'll see. Kugali with a drive-through, he just finished serving it then, so that's unfortunate. He's going to be well out of the battle for for the silver class, even the podium now, because Monks has still got to pit. We'll see how long he goes. He got a little bit of clean air to the 47 ahead, who will be a blue flag. It's Ellis in 14th, sorry. Josh Holmes goes even quicker, 32.3. So this 20-litre, like 20 minutes, basically effectively a quali stint. Oh, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Yeah. JC will be net P3, assuming Monks doesn't come out ahead of him, which it might be a bit touch and go there. We'll see how that plays out. Monks might be able to get a bit of an overcut here, because he was about a second, I believe, behind Bub now. But if he's not changing tyres, which I doubt he will be, possibly a couple second undercut. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this race plays out.
Regardless of if Convoy gets on the podium or not, it's a very good recovery drive after that qualifying.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely nailed the strategy there. We saw it work for Torfik last night. I personally didn't think the lap one was going to be that successful. I thought the tyres would be a little bit not so good after sitting there for 25 seconds. As we see, Monks jumps into the pit, so we'll see where he comes out. So JC just coming up to Knickerbrook chicane at the moment. So I can't remember exactly how long the final sector is. Kugali, 10-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 31. So it's going to be another invoice for him. It's going to drop me a little bit further back, probably behind Brownette, I think. Will be interesting to see. Yeah.
Easy peasy.
100%, yeah. Well, there we are. So Monk's undercut has worked an absolute, or overcut, I guess you would say, actually, has worked an absolute treat. So he has, overcut Bub now by a good couple seconds, good 5 seconds almost. He's basically maximised that difference in pit strategy. And he's going to put himself on the podium with about 3 laps to go, as we see Kung. Yeah, he's just letting him through. I thought those guys were battling for position there. But there we go. So yeah, about 7.5 seconds ahead of Convoy. Bub now less than a second behind Convoy. So maybe we might see that spice up. Granted, there's not too much longer in the race to go, but never say never.
Josh Holmes, 1.5. Ooh, trying to get a little bit of temperature in those tyres. I don't know if there's enough time.
No. Even if there was another 10 minutes, I still don't think it's so difficult to get past here at Oulton. Yeah.
I think this one is in Cam Thistlewaite's hands. He just needs to bring that home.
32.8 for Holmes, 33.2 for Thistlewaite. So really not that much difference. Only 0.4 as Holmes goes for a bit of a off-road excursion at turn 1 now. Yeah. The boat has tried its hand at being a lawnmower.
Ay. Oh, I thought it was on for Josh Holmes here with that first stop. It felt so good.
Yeah, it's interesting how the strategy's played out. I didn't think Holmes was going to lose that much. But obviously running the tyres for 40 minutes instead of half an hour, like splitting it halfway like we saw Thistlewaite do. Well, it was the optimal strategy in this sense.
So Tim Nash, quite a bit ahead of his competitors in AM class. Nathan Monks obviously looks to be settled into that both podium overall finish and first in class.
Here comes Bob now.
Oh,
Dreberg gets a drive through for track limits as well.
Oh,
so
no.
That's going to be unfortunate. I'll drop him behind Marsh, I reckon. But yeah, so Bob now took about 0.3 out of JC in like the last sector and a half. So I mean, I've said it the entire time, it's hard to pass here, but with that sort of pace difference and JC doing GTR things in the not GTR, who knows what could happen here.
Oh,
They
it's
got
close.
2 laps to go, I reckon.
Yeah, two laps to go with where the leaders are at right now.
Oh, JC.
God, it's like a rally driving entrance, like coming in, wheel turn the other way.
Yeah, that's one way to scrub the speed off for turn 1.
Yeah. No drive-throughs for me.
Yeah. Yeah, can't get a track cut if you always lose time. Yeah, obviously the tyres a little bit off for JC here, or he's maybe just doing it for the style points in front of good mate and Bub now. So how this progresses, we jump back on board. Holmes is right there onto the final lap. It's almost a mirror image. I think every split, no matter what's happened through the mid stint, the pole sitter has won every split so far.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, which is surprising because when we saw Thistleway and Holmes trading positions the entire race, I didn't think that was really going to be the case. I didn't think Thistleway was gonna come out ahead and ahead by that much. I honestly thought he'd get undercut a little bit with Holmes on the fresh tyres, but
yeah, it's like we've literally ended up in like the same. Sorry to interrupt, but the same way that they started with Holmes on the back of Thistleway.
Yes. He'd better. It'd be rude not to. He looks to the inside. Gonna try and force the error. That's really the only way past here. There is some of the trickiest corners to go, so so that's to back out a little bit there. Thistleway didn't carry the mid corner that Holmes could, but unless he goes for something into the final corner, which is incredibly brave, I think Thistleway's going to hold on here for a very well-deserved win.
Oh, he's looking to the outside. Thistleway's defending the inside.
He does go wide.
Oh, they're side by side.
I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, the drag race to the line. No, he has to tuck in behind. Wow. 1/10 separates them across the line.
Wow, that was spicier than I thought it was going to be. Oh my.
What a race. Unfortunately, because they're in equal machinery, it's a little bit even more difficult to get a pass on. Maybe if they had slightly different strengths and weaknesses, like say maybe a Porsche or a Honda compared to the McLaren, there might have been a bit of a difference. JC gets a little wiggly on the exit there. Muggs comes across the line for a well-deserved P3. JC P4. Bub now takes P5 and second in class. Mr. Jensen P6 and the win in Pro-Am. What a drive.
Lovely slide then from JC. Lele in 7th position, rounding out your podium for silver class. Lewis in 8th. Saxon Hayes in 9th. Saxon Hayes, silver class, in case you missed that. Rondinella 10th. Spence 11th, coming across the line in the 420 McLaren. Neil Wood in the 620 McLaren, giving us a little flash.
Yeah, solid drive from Neil Wood there. I believe that's probably still 9 positions up from where he started, so P21-ish to P12. Solid drive, takes out, where's that, P5 in Pro-Am class, so very awesome drive. Ellis comes across the line for 14th, and we're waiting on Appreciato, who will be the last to finish down in 16th. There you have it. With a British podium, you could almost say Rule Britannia.
I wouldn't though. All right. I mean, we kind of covered off results, but we'll do it again real quick. You want to run us through, Brenno?
Yeah, so we got Cam Thistleway takes a well-deserved win in the Bentley. And overall, Holmes and Monks round out your top 3 in overall. In the silver class, we have Monks taking out another win. Well deserved. Bub now takes out second. Lele takes out P3, rounds out the podium there. In the Pro-Am class, we have Jensen. What a drive from the 95 McLaren there. Steve Lewis takes out P2. Another great drive from Crispy there as well. And Rondinella rounds out your podium. And in the AM class, well, Saxon Hayes is a silver, as we know. So Nash has taken out the win in amateur class in the Ferrari, this 666 Ferrari, followed by Ashley Vediger and David Marsh. Your top 3. Yeah, don't go anywhere.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a nice night.
Slowly into the silent night, an endless fall, like cuts from 1,000 knives. I hear you call, but I'm still stumbling in the dark, a silent howl as I dissolve into your arms. I waited now, seduced by a sweet the scar you left feels like an open wound. I'm down and low. Don't wake me up, it's still too soon. I hear you call, but I'm still falling deep in love. I'm washed away and carried to your sweet embrace. I waited now, seduced by a sweet
Top of the evening, sir.
Yeah, absolutely, Mo. Loving it, mate. Loving life. I don't think you could get much better, mate, outside of the smell of the exhaust from the cars themselves, mate. There's fires going everywhere, tents galore, and I'm looking out for a few OOR cohorts up here. Haven't found any just yet, mate, but 100% committed to the team and committed to the race. But,
That's what I'll...
Yeah, that's it, mate. So definitely looking forward to the race on the big 12 hour coming up. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic. But, mate, Oulton Park is it's a crazy town, mate. Coming off Split Blue, those guys were just absolutely manic, mate. So, hey, this is going to be one heck of a race tonight.
Certainly is. Looking forward to this one. It's going to be an absolute ripper. Multiple strategies at play as well. With the fuel drop only, tyres are not required. So there's going to be varying strategies. 2 stops, of course. So again, as we are looking at Carl Johnson on screen at the moment in the Kovacs Racing Porsche. Good to see Kovacs see the light. And joining us, of course, is the one and only JC. Big congratulations off your very nice race there, sir.
Thank you, Sean. Hello, Brad. How are you? Hello, YouTube chat. Hello to everyone out there. Yeah, thanks. Nice to get the strategy right for once and not bottle some pit stops. So, yeah, it was a good little race. Very enjoyable.
Good to hear.
Yeah, look, Oulton Park is generally a really enjoyable track for me, especially. It's probably one of my top 4 tracks. I just don't like it in the Porsche. I'm Sean. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry, mate. Hang on. It's getting worse, right? You should have heard me for the last 45 minutes because I am so over the Porsche 2 races in. I think it's a very 2-foot car. It's a very precise car that requires a lot of skill to drive, and you need your brake and your throttle operating in sync. And because I right foot brake, it's just not gelling with me at all. I just can't get this car to be as consistent as I want it. It doesn't go where I want it to go. So I'm falling very quickly out of love with the Porsche, unfortunately, which is, as I said, why that result is, surprising. Because, for the first half of the race, I thought driving very poorly, but then I just seemed to pick up positions for free and it all worked out.
Sometimes that's the best way to go about it. Just drive and forget about it. That's sometimes how you have to drive the Porsche, honestly. Drive and forget. As Rashuti put tops time seats at the moment with a 1:33. Qualifying is underway. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So we are rolling around in qualifying. 7 minutes remaining. It is, I believe that was Salvaggio put in a very quick lead. We look at Carl Johnson here currently on screen at the moment, and he is about to set his first flying lap. Running very well this season in the Porsche, as I was saying there earlier, and having probably another one of those drivers is just getting used to the Porsche. It is a very different car to drive. It does require a very different technique, but it is a lot of fun, and that's the main thing. As Carl now comes through the final turn, Lodge Corner, up through Deerleap. Such a great part of the track. Oh, this whole track's so awesome. And we'll get a indicative time there from Carl as he pops in the 6th position. So very nice lap there. But it is Shady Samuel. No, it is Lucas Keys leading the way currently with a 1:32.1. That is a very quick lap there from the kid. And here is Rahali in the BMW. Very impressive last week with a victory. And it's what has that shown is split red. The championship is on.
That's 100%. You said it in one, mate. It is on. I think from having Lucas Keys and Deej had a pretty good run over the last couple of years in Split Red, and it's really great to see a couple of guys really step up. Ralhay, just how he was able to hold off the guys. All 4 of them battling so well last week at Silverstone. Hats off to him. He's definitely taken it to the boys, and look out, it is 100% game on. And as we're looking at him now, he's pulling some pretty nice lines, and this will be really interesting to see how he ends up.
Very much so. He's 0.3 up on his best lap as my man Joshua Strick jumps into 2nd position there. Very nice lap. But we'll see what Rahali can do. I've got a feeling, looking at the numbers here, this will pop him back into 2nd position. So that'll set up a beautiful race there with Lucas. So the strat there, Jay. Whoa, baby! No! Oh, wow! How did he hold it at that?
Oh, and from being over 0.2 up, and I reckon that car's just balked him a little bit on the inside there, hey?
Yeah, I think it could have. It definitely would have put him off, but yeah, held on to it beautifully and lucky not to throw it into the fence. So nice little bit of car control. Look at this leaderboard, by the way.
Playing that, I must say, what a stellar lap from Lucas Keys, like a 32-1. Like, that's ridiculous speed. And sorry, JC, but Rally's definitely pushing there. But Lucas Keys is obviously well and truly found that little sweet spot in the Porsche there. But unfortunately, Rally's just kind of over pushing a little bit too hard. But it's such a tight track and so bumpy that to try and you've got to be 100% on the limit. And if you're not, it can bite really hard too.
It's got a lot of weird bumps and nooks and crannies in spots that, just come out of nowhere. Now, look, here is John Sonigas in the 555, and good to see the 555 back on the grid. Oh, hang on, that's the pink Porsche. I believe that is JP Sonigas. Oh,
yeah, he's
very sneaky. I like it. Got him. Yeah.
That was the plan, and it's absolutely got you hook, line, and sinker there, I think, Muller. That is indeed Jean-Pierre Senekis, not his brother John Senekis, running the 555 Ferrari.
JC, got you. I already saw this beforehand. It was my first question when I got in the box.
Why'd you call him John then?
Just to take the piss, mate.
Oh,
here we are.
Roger that. Okay.
Good line and sinker there.
Brad and I were having a little giggle at this last week. What a livery too, by the way. That's going to stand
classic.
out when he puts that on pole. No, he's not getting anywhere near pole. I don't think he's going to do a 32-1, but he'll be right up the pointy end again.
Should be. We know the class. We've seen it in action many times. I've got to be careful, though. I can't give him too much compliments because I jinxed him a beauty in the Duros race a couple of weeks ago. So,
no, certainly not.
Certainly not.
No, Lucas Keys is not 1.4 seconds up on his Delta here at the moment. So,
considering he's currently
come around the corner here. This could be a valid lap because obviously the ACC Delta does play funny buggers with us sometimes, but whether or not he actually improves here, no, he doesn't. So here he goes on his next fly. Still 2.5 minutes for these guys to improve too, so plenty of time to find any additional tenths. Shady Samuel's improved and is now only 2 tenths off of Lucas Keys, so that's pretty impressive. And as you said, your mate Josh Struick, Jesus Christ, he was quick last week, and here he is again. I think this is his first crack at Oulton Park on ACC, so to be only 6 tenths off the pace and in P3 at the moment, that is incredible place. Clearly a very fast driver in all wares.
Certainly is. So this is actually his first go on ACC, pretty much full stop. He's pretty much only been a Gran Turismo head, so thought he'd give it a go. Started the course, the Nürburgring 12-hour. And picked it up very, very quickly and made me feel very, very old very quickly.
And can I pop in here, fellas? I just saw it flash up on the timing tree. Is Salvaggio? He's pulled it out to a P4. That guy has done a monster lap.
That's a very impressive lap. To be fourth in this field, that is a mighty lap, and around Oulton Park as well. So clearly gels with the circuit. And as I said, that is, just looking at the numbers again, that's a very impressive lap. That's going to take some beating. So looking at JP at the moment, 0.7 up on his best lap, so this just drop him into the low 32s at 32.207 in the second position. Great lap.
Fantastic lap there.
Oh, Shady Samuel.
Hello.
Oh, wow. Just wound up the big Ford and went bang.
Boy, oh boy. I didn't think we would see that 32.1 improved on by Lucas, let alone anyone else. Shady Samuel going to the top with a 0.32. That is wild pace.
In a car that pretty much does not look like it enjoys it around here at all. That is a mightily impressive lap.
Did say Jean-Pierre would be pretty close as well. He's only a 10th off the pace, so he's right up there as well. And as
Oh,
you
hang
said
on.
before, Brad Vlahi as well. No, he can't be 8/10 up on a 31.
No.
Not buying that for a second. We all know Lucas cheats, but even his cheats aren't that good. No, that is ACC Delta playing funny buggers with us again. So we'll keep an eye on Lucas's leaderboard position because that's about as accurate as that's going to get. Jean-Pierre here coming around Knickerbocker is up on his Delta until he goes through the exit. So this is probably going to take a really good last corner to get anything out of this. Doesn't look like he's going to get it, so he'll stay in P3 for now.
Yep.
Very solid. He can definitely do damage from there. We've seen it many times before. As Lucas Keys now crosses, as so does Shady, as Luke throws it into the wall. That's no way to treat a Porsche. As Rahali finished fourth, of course we did. Salvaggio in fifth. Again, very impressive from Salvaggio. Lovely lap. And he looks like he's going to hold on to that as well. Looks like Rahali's definitely not going to improve. Looks like he's a balked lap as well. Stroik will finish in 7th most likely, and then Underwood in 8th. But that was a pretty good qualifying session. But I'm really keen for this race. Very excited for this race.
We chatted about Salvaggio last week, and we thought maybe it was just a McLaren at Silverstone thing. But his pace is obviously really, really good this season, so he might be looking at himself a sneaky promotion. We're looking at Struick as well, who's only 7/10 off the lead, and then there's a big gap between Struick and Underwood. So Struick, I think, a cheeky promotion on the way as well. But as you said, that's a really tight top end of the grid, and considering how fast they are at the top, it is making for a really exciting race, Sean. Well said.
Can't wait. Looking forward to this. Many strategies at play as well. So that's the interesting 2 stops for fuel only. So fuel does need to be dropped, but tyres is optional, I believe.
Yep, spot on. Don't have to take tyres at all, or you can take tyres in your first stop and not in your second stop, or you can take them in both stops, or whatever you like.
So with just under 3 minutes left, what was a bit of your thought process for yourself there, JC, coming into that stellar finish that you had, mate? What was the kind of thoughts on how you played your strat out?
I've done literally 0 practice at Oulton this week because I have been smashing Bathurst practice. I love Bathurst with all of my heart. And the Ford at Bathurst, which is what I'm taking for the 12-hour, it's the best car track combo in the game. So not only do we have the classification server up, we also have LFM at Bathurst this week. I have been doing nothing but the Ford in Bathurst all week long. So when I got to the grid, I knew I wouldn't qualify well, and I knew I'd be sort of entrenched in the midfield, and I knew that I'd get faster as the race went on. So the last thing I wanted to be doing was sitting in traffic. And so therefore just thought, get into clear air really early on, build my way into the race, build my way into my own pace. And that's just how it played out. I got lucky after both pit stops that I didn't come out in any traffic, that I had to fight my way through. And I got both pit stops right. Obviously, anyone who knows me for more than 3 months knows that I can't do a pit stop for shit. So I was really cautious on the way into the pit lane, but got them both right. Didn't cost myself any time, and that's just where the result came from. Was just, as I said, pitting lap 1 and getting into clear air.
Yeah.
So you may see that from these guys here too. So I think Senekis is probably the first in line for that kind of strategy. Keys will give himself a shot of staying with Samuel and potentially overtaking him with the power of the Porsche out of the slow corners. But I think Page, Ralahi, and then maybe even Struick, who obviously is in the same garage as Senekis and Keys, and will have a couple of boys in his ear saying there's an early pit stop on here. There's a couple there that I think will go for that early strategy as well.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think also track position is going to be so crucial here as well, and sort of dictating your strategy. If you are caught in a fight, do you just, pull the trigger early? So much to play out. Temperature-wise and track conditions-wise, we are looking at a very sunny evening or day here in the UK. 19 degrees in the air and 25 on track. And, of course, big thank you to Simrigs.com for sponsoring this sprint race and the series as well. I'll get my words twisted today. I'm having one of those days. But, of course, JC did mention the Bathurst 12-hour course classification survey is up and live and running at the moment. It's been some real big-time Hollywood numbers already being pumped in, so sets up for a cracking race. But get around it, February 15th, brought to you by Boosted Media as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, but most importantly, it is the race for Malt. Get well soon, Malik. Hope you are fighting fit, mate. And yeah, very much looking forward to this. Very pumped. I was super stoked when I saw Boosted Media jump on board as well. I watch a lot of their content, really great stuff. So yeah, very keen. And I know the two gentlemen sitting beside me as well are very, curtain raiser community event, Porsche Cup 8 PM. Sign me up for that.
I'll be there too. Yes, sir. If you don't love
45 minutes of red, perfect.
I don't like the Porsche, but the Porsche Cup and the Porsche are two completely different beasts. I absolutely love the Porsche Cup car. You'll see me there for sure. Can we take any Porsche Cup car we want? That's my first question. Because I actually prefer the older gen Porsche Cup car. I think
just jumping in there, JC, and I can pretty much assure you that we will open the doors for that.
Yeah.
And this is going to be it's going to be a bit different. Look out, keep an eye on chat for the following week. We've got some really interesting stuff planned for that curtain raiser.
Hello.
Excellent. I like that. And of course, though,
Jesus, you got a rim job with that one?
I know.
Hang on.
Just dangle the carrot, why don't you? Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, leaving you with it.
It's naughty from you.
And of course, top 10 shootout as well. Always a fantastic event, top 10 shootout. Any top 10 shootout around Bathurst is just brilliant. And then, 15 Feb, 9 a.m. shakedown, of course, but race start at 10 a.m. But this is the Sprint Series as the drivers are circulating around and about to get underway. 60 minutes around as they go around Knickerbrook. We will talk about some of these corner names as well because there's some beauties around this track. You got Water Tower, Druids, of course. Every British track needs a Druids. Lodge Corner, Deer Leap, Hislops, Cascades. Oh, some great names. So, what are we thoughts? Quick thoughts, gentlemen, before we get off and racing. What do we think?
First thought is very good-looking grid, love split reds liveries. Second thought is Jean-Pierre Senekis to once again show us why he has won split red over and over again. He will win this race.
Heard it here first. Here they go. It's around the final turn now. Lodge, and then they'll plunge down through Deer Leap. That'll take them onto the main straight, and then they will pass under the bridge and the start-finish line, and they will get underway. It'll be Shady Samuel from Lucas Keys and JP Sonegas and Rahali Salvigio Raschuti as they head down now into T1. They're going to go side by side, but it looks like a very clean start there from Shady Samuel. A little bit sideways, but controls it beautifully. Lucas Keys going to try again around the outside. That's brave through there. Who's going to be deeper into the brakes? Lucas holds it around the outside. He's still on the outside. What a start from Lucas Keys. That's going to set him up beautifully now. To head down towards Shell Oil. He's going to go through the kink flat. This is so scary through here. Backs it off. Forward power. Exactly. Breaks it nice and late. Straight line braking. JP just defending there a little bit, but does it beautifully. Head off down towards the back end of the track and heading into the first chicken. Look at that forward. That forward on the gas is ridiculous. Shady now just building a little bit of a gap already and looking very, very speedy. Lucas Keys tucked in the slipstream. And then JP, Rahali, Salvigio, Struick, Raschuti, Underwood, Palmer and Johnson are your 10 at the moment. But these three are just starting to already just build a little bit of a gap over Rahali. It's not much, but you can just see it is quite noticeable on that overhead shot. Heading down now, and to complete the first circuit around this fantastic Oulton Park track, 4.3 kilometres, real classic British circuit, and it's already proven to provide some fantastic racing as lap 1 is in the books, and it's Shady Samuel leading the way from Lucas Keys, Sonicus, Rahali and Salvigio are your 5. Wow.
Yes, I reckon there must have been a little bit of a tit for tat down the back end of the order too.
Oh.
There we go.
Happy hour.
It's not the, no, I'm not taking credit for this. No. It's not the JC strat. I got this from Michael Babb, who performed this one last night to great effect. and he recommended that I take the same strat tonight, and I followed his lead. So this is the Michael Babb strat. Don't try and pin this one on me. It worked for great effect, and I want to make sure that man gets his due, because without him, I'd be absolutely nowhere. So yeah, everyone doing the Babby here at the moment. Rachudi, Palmer, Gobi, Zavaka, they're all in there. Rachmat. Fadley, we hadn't talked about during qualifying as well. Obviously, very, very fast boy. And did the last to 6th, or was it last to 5th, something like that last week. So he's another one to keep an eye out for here. With 2 stops, he's got plenty of opportunity to obviously not go from last to first. Impossible to overtake at this track, even for Fadley. But yeah, very interesting to see what he can get done going from last to, you know, what can we get out of Fadley tonight?
I'm predicting top 5. That's gut feel. Love that strat from Fadley. I think that's really smart, really clever. We'll definitely watch that leaderboard. I'm expecting that Mustang to fly through this field. Back up the front, Lucas Keys. Shady Samuel just opening a bit of a gap here, half a second. So not noticeable, but just been inching out a 10th or 2, and it's half a second. Lucas will just start to have a bit of a think. Okay, right, do I push a little bit harder this lap, just try and reduce that gap? And JP just lurking in the background as business as usual. Then Rahali there, who again is lurking as well. I thought they were dropping him off, but he's actually held a... But Salvagio, I mean, seriously, what a drive this is. Super impressive.
That's it. Salvagio and Struik both doing such a great job to keep right on the back end of these the pro drivers here, as we see again, another one in the pits. Definitely going for the first lap strat there as well. So yes, jet out to Babs for that one. But yeah, they're holding on. It's not that much of a gap, but you can see the 6 of those, and obviously there's going to be a bit of a gap there, because we do have the guys that came in for the pits in those first 1 or 2 laps, and so yes, it will definitely be obvious that there will be a bit more of a gap there. But they're doing such a great job to be able to hold on to the back end of this pro field.
I ought to be keeping an eye on here is Carlos is the top qualifier out of everyone who's pitted so far. So if he doesn't manage to come out in front of them, he's really lost out by pitting lap 2 instead of lap 1. And we're just chatting to Ahmad, who's obviously keeping a close eye on Fadley. Fadley, he's not going to be in clear air because he started from last position. He's come in behind everyone who did that pit lap 1. So whilst he's trying to get out of traffic, he's actually just pitted and put himself behind 5 cars. And again, it's still really difficult to pass on this track. So whilst he's going for clear air, because so many people pitted in front of him, it really hasn't worked out for Fadley.
No, it hasn't.
I had that same thought too as he's come out behind a lot of the other cars, and I'm like, oh, that's going to suck for him.
But again, Oulton Park has a tendency, it has a tendency to throw people off the road very quickly as well. So it's something you just got to keep an eye on. But we'll keep an eye on that, Carl. So Rashudi has got out in front of him. Rashudi stopped as well. He was one of the lap 1 stoppers. So that's kind of worked out for Carl. It's kind of not. But it looks like he's got some nice clear. He's got Brad Palmer in front of him, who's a very quick operator. So he'll be able to gauge his pace off Brad there in front, who also came in on lap 1 as well. Back up the front there on camera 1 is Lucas Keys now, just starting to lose a little bit of touch with Shady, but he's hanging on. These 3 are just putting in numbers, though. They are inch-perfect laps, all of these. And then there is a little bit of gap back to Rahali, Savaggio and Struik. And they'll be crunching the numbers and working out what they're going to do here, because if they're not coming in now, they're not coming in for a little while.
Yeah, it's definitely at the point of which you've got to now work the balance and go, how's trying to find the splits. I reckon is going to be the tricky part, is to go, what lap times are the guys at the front doing? Where am I at? What are my lap times doing? Am I keeping up with them, even though I might be further down or I might be further up? Am I able to keep pushing a little bit harder now? Is that going to bring me into clean air? And like, as I know JC was saying there last week as well, it's looking constantly at the track map. Where's it clean? Where's the clean air if I go in now? Where's the clean air if I go in another 5 laps? And looking for that gap, because, as JC, you've mentioned, having that clean air can make such a difference, especially as we know Oulton Park is just so hard to overtake. anyone.
Yeah, it's impossible, really. I mean, there's probably two spots that you can have a think about it, and a lot of the time, yeah, you have a think about it. Very brave to throw it up the inside down at the Shell Oil hairpin, as Rondinella gets a 15-second penalty for a collision on lap 1. As Lucas now, so Shady's, that lap was not great there from Shady, and that's allowed Lucas to just close up a little bit in that beautiful Rexy-inspired pink Porsche. Of course, that was Daytona last week, the Daytona 24, and Porsche got the victory. Chicken dinner, thank you very much. And leading to the Bathurst 12-hour this weekend, where Porsche will get another victory. That'll be 2 from 2 in the big Enduros for the year. But this battle is definitely closing up a little bit now. Look, it looks like Shady, I don't know if the Mustang's gone through its weird tyre phase, or Lucas is just trying to wind the wick up a little bit and put a little bit Shady under just a bit of pressure. That's very good from you, John, in chat. Very good.
Yeah, these three are definitely pulling it out over Ralahays, Savaggio and Struick now. You can definitely see the gap is just increasing ever so slightly. Little pack for these three, and then the next three guys behind them. Definitely noticing now there's a little bit more between them. But after Struick, you look back and that's Underwood. What's he? 5 seconds, 6 seconds back after that. That's a huge gap that these 6, you could say, have really taken out as a gap. So that's really playing an advantage to these guys.
Definitely. It also shows consistency at this track is so important. If you are consistent with your laps, there is a good chance you're going to be up this pool. Lucas just has a slight moment there, just caught a little bit of that curb, and there's a weird bump actually on that curb that can spit you a little bit sideways as it did to Lucas, but no problem. Oh, that was very wide there from Shady as well. That may come with an invoice. Sneakers though just sitting there in third, and he's lurking all the time, just waiting for a little opportunity. And Rahali looks like he's just put the pressure on a little bit. He's just wound the wick up, maybe found half a tenth or so. So these 4 though, these are a fascinating battle. And just keep an eye on our timing screen as well. There is the 62 of Rashmat, currently in 23rd at the moment. I expect that to fly up that leaderboard. It looks like he's getting onto the back of Johnson and Palmer as well. So here, Johnson's just in front there. Here is Rashmat in that big bad Mustang. Yeah, such a fun car.
All due respect to Zavaka and Warren and Gobby, obviously their pace isn't anywhere near Rachmat, so he's gotten them done. He's dealt with those guys, but now he's got Johnson and Palmer and Ricciuti, who, as you said before, they're very fast boys, and I just don't see a way through for Fadley. If he manages to get through on them, it's a massive mistake from the drivers in front, as opposed to a move, even from the forward in a straight line. There's just not enough straights here. There's just not enough overtaking opportunities here, and I just don't see this working out for Fadley. And it's gonna be some really big balls under brakes type stuff from Mr. Rachmat if he gets any of this done on, as I said, Johnson and Palmer, who are super quick, and then Ricciuti is a pro class driver. So yeah, it's who's that in the wall there? Oh dear, that's someone has had an adventure out wide there. It's Island Bend, and as soon as you touch the grass around the outside there, it'll put you in the wall. That's Phil McCulley, who has unfortunately put himself out there. Now, whether or not he got any damage from that, I don't know whether he pulled it up. He looked like he was under control of the car, and that Aston looks pretty tidy, yeah. Yep. So maybe just have managed to stay out of the wall, which is a good result from that, because as I said, once you go wide there at Island Bend, that grass sucks you out, and that wall just keeps on coming.
There's actually a jump out there. I don't know if you two know that. If you go out right beside the wall on the outside, there's a massive jump and you can launch your car. There you go, fun.
Yep.
I'm yet to find that one, fortunately.
Well, I haven't found it on purpose anyways.
So McCulley now really under pressure from Gobby in the 72 forward there, who's caught right up to him, and he's just going to be chasing him around for a little bit. McCulley, as I said, yeah, doesn't look like he's carrying much damage, but he'll be a bit shaken up.
Dust
It
off,
still seems to
reload.
be holding.
Ooh, someone in the pits there. Who's that?
It's the Mercedes of Justin.
Mercedes, yes.
Yeah, he's just come out of the pits as well and joins into this battle. Here you go.
Here we go.
Just replay. Just watch him tickle the grass on the outside here. Oh, no, it was before that. He's actually just gone and overcooked the entry.
No.
How he's managed to pull that up. I've never seen a car
Never
manage
seen
to stay
that
out of that wall.
And now he's just stopped to check his undies.
No, he's done well. Look at him. He's watching the
Look at
track map here. He's rejoining safely.
Well, that's
how you do it.
great. I was going to say it's great to see that because that is one spot in all the tracks we go to in OR that is a hot spot for rejoins. So that is a perfectly executed rejoin there from McCulley. Well done, good sir. He's under a bit of pressure now, though.
Yeah, say that Gobby's all over him here. Oh,
There
we
we go.
did the thing.
We went and did the thing.
Sorry, Gobby.
Which lets Jasmine past as well. But as you have both said, it's a track of consistencies, and as we've just seen, unfortunately from both McCulley and from Gobby, that it does not take much at all, and this track does not really forgive you much for being offline. Fortunately, there is some grass. And it's not like the top half of Bathurst where it is nothing but the concrete canyon, which I happen to have a great view of right now. But it's so hard to make sure that you keep your car consistent, because that's what'll happen. It'll just come back and bite you.
Couldn't agree more. It's the bumps. If you don't know every bump around here and what it does to your car, you're really going to struggle, because some of the bumps you actually use to go fast. I know it sounds weird, but that's how I find I go quick around here. But the best part about this track is it's a proper challenge. Like, it's a proper old school. You've got to get up on the wheel and actually drive the bloody thing. And just looking at that, it looks like JP is dropping just into the clutches here for Harley. So is that just a slight error, or a little bit of maybe a slight mistake, or is that pace? Is that Samuel and Keys just up in the ante?
Well, I think Rallahay's been a pretty similar kind of gap from Samuel and Keys. So, yeah, whether Sonicus has just found the bump the wrong way, as you've just mentioned.
Hang on. Looking at our timing screens, we have lost a driver. No.
Oh, no.
He must have pitted, but not seeing Salvaggio anywhere. Surely must have pitted. If he has, that's really... down in 25th. That's cost him a lot of time. What has happened there? So he's definitely coming to the pit lane.
Yeah, he has done one stop, but he's behind Gobby, he's behind Jasmine, he's behind Gormley, and he qualified way in front of those boys. Speaking of, that's Igor Zavaka in the Bentley, who's also come afoul of Island Bend. I don't know whether there was any contact with anyone around him, but oh no. Oh dear.
Oh, no.
Just a little less aggression on the throttle here, Igor. Just get it turned around, mate. Oh my goodness, he's making an absolute mess of this. Mind that rejoin. Yeah, there's no one on the track map, so he's all good and he can restart.
Very good.
That has put him well behind the guys he was battling with. But yeah, Salvaggio's also dropped back. He's clearly made an error as well, because that's Gormley that he's behind in front there. And yeah, he was well and truly ensconced in the top 10 when the race started, so something's gone afoul there for sure.
Yeah, it might have ended up with the drama in the pits. Possibly.
Could be a multitude of things. I'm sure we'll find out in due course. Currently in 24th at the moment, and he's chasing Gormley. So he'll have a bit of a think about what he needs to do, see if he can get himself back up the leaderboard. So looking at this, so it's Rashuti at the moment, who's the first of our the first of our drivers who has made a pit stop. He's currently running around in 15th at the moment in his Ferrari. So, and he's just making up good time at the moment there on Johnson as well, and Chalmers, who is carrying a 10-second invoice. So that'll affect him in the pit stops as well. So Rashudi's definitely one to watch. So is Palmer. I'm keeping a real close eye on Palmer at the moment because we know Palmer's super quick in that Porsche. When he is on, he is a very quick driver. So very interested to see how this all plays out. And of course, we won't know really until the final 10 minutes, let's be honest. And that's the great thing about this race. Oh, wow. As Silveggio's getting really aggressive now with Gormley. He's going to try and go for... this is very spicy. Hill stops is not the place to make him pass.
Definitely had a look though, didn't he? He's got the pace on him. As you said, Salvaggio did qualify inside the top 10, and Gormley, all due respect, is not quite as fast. There you go. That's
no.
It's another one at Island Bend. He's going to keep it out of the wall mostly. Oh, there's a fair touch on the front there, and the McLaren does not like front-end damage, so that'll cost him a fair bit of time, either on track or in the pit lane. Now,
that was when he was in 5th. Yeah,
so he's repaired that in the pit lane, so that's why he's gone so far backwards. He's repaired a bit of extra damage in the pit lane. But yeah, now he's all over Gormley. As I said, he's got a bit of he's going to have a couple of tenths per lap over the top of Gormley. But this is, as we were talking about before, Sean, there's nowhere to pass on this track other than a few very specific places with a very specific exit. So he's going to have to be patient. And if he's going to get it done at all, it's going to be, as I said, probably a slight mistake from Gormley as well as a really good exit from Salvaggio at some point.
Exactly. I mean, what point do you think... how do you start? Oh, that's not going to help. That is not going to help at all. That will be an invoice. Yeah, definitely a tap. I reckon that was more of a hip and shoulder. But that's all right. Well, that's going to hurt. So this is what now, if I'm Salvaggio, this is what I would do right now. I would wait for the inevitable invoice that is coming and literally pull into the pit lane, serve my stop, get a set of fresh boots on, serve my penalty, and get the hell out and just go for it. Absolutely drive the wheels off the thing and see how much damage you can actually limitate. Oh, that is right out on the slide as well. This is some very aggressive driving here from Salvaggio.
I think it's all going to come down to how much pressure he can either put on Gormley himself, or is he going to go up the inside? I don't know if he's going to have the legs. No, he's trying to force the error. But yeah, as you said there, Mole, I think it's probably going to be one of those things. How much is this now choking him out? Every lap that he now stays in behind Gormley, even though it's still 40 minutes to go, is it now at the point where you just go, this is going to cost me multiple laps? Oh, as once again, we've got...
McCulley, that was McCulley. Yeah.
Yep, unfortunately, not finding a lot of fun there at all.
He's doing a lot of lawn mowing, our friend McCulley.
He's keeping it out of the wall, though, so he's learning, see? It's the best way to learn. And, our leader is in, Shady. Yes, so our leader has popped into the pit lane. Interesting timing as well. So that is bang on 20 minutes. So it looks like Shady is going for the 20-20-20. Say that 100 times.
And he's come out well in front of Ricciuti as well.
So
he's next in the line for a single pit stop.
So what does Lucas and JP do here? Do they come in now, cover him off, or do they stick to their original plan? It's intriguing to watch.
Shady's in space. That's, I think, going to be their concern. And I would think one of them at least would be considering pitting. They haven't. They've stayed out. They reckon they've still got pace and legs left in these tyres, and they want fresh rubber towards the end. But if Shady's got any sort of space whatsoever on that fresh rubber, which he does, he's 7.7 seconds behind Tarks, Pete Viney, currently in P8. So Shady gets to use his new rubber to full effect, and will probably, stretch out a bit of a gap here, I would think, over Lucas Keys and Jean-Pierre, because these guys just driving around here in the mid-34s probably don't have the pace of Shady Samuel on fresh rubber.
I'd have to concur with that. I think Shady's pulled a bit of a masterclass here. I like the strat. Whoa,
That's right.
Riley.
Bill McCulley type work out there on the chicanes. Just overshot his braking marker there a bit.
I think that was that, and whoever's in the Mustang there, must be Braid, I'd reckon, was not really the spot that you pull over as a blue flag as well.
There's another one.
Oh, and there's another one.
Plenty of landscaping going on around here.
Oh, Park, it's starting to flex her muscle. Many races I've called around here, many races I've raced around here, and normally 25 minutes in, 30 minutes in, normally Oulton Park starts to, bare her teeth as Lucas Keys pops into the pit lane and jeez.
I reckon he's got it pulled up, but Christ almighty, that's about as quick as you'd want to go in there.
Wow.
I'm taking notes. That is a pit entry. If he's got it right, don't get me wrong, maybe I'm just going to hold my breath here, because if he's going at 56, then we've got words, but far out that looked spot on.
That was such a great entry.
It was a great entry. If he's pulled that off, that's the best entry I think I've seen. That was brilliant.
And now we get to see where he comes out in terms of, Shady Samuel. And then, you've got Jean-Pierre out there who's stayed out. Some really interesting. Here comes Shady across the start-finish line now. Oulton Park's pit exit is on the inside of the track, but he's going to be he's got him well covered. In fact, he's actually stretched that gap that he had from the first stint. So as we said, that fresh rubber playing into the hands of Shady Samuel. He was lucky that he got some space. Whether or not he found that by luck or not is irrelevant. He now has probably a 2, maybe 3 second gap on Lucas Keys, who did get that pit entry right, ladies and gentlemen. That's a bloody banger.
Cracking entry. But, danger signs now, because Shady in clear air. If I'm a JP, I'm definitely coming in this lap.
Yep, as he pulled out 3.5 seconds with that there. Oh, he's not.
No, he's going around again, so he's got a completely different thought here, as Riley does come in at a second.
Well, based on what we've seen, the undercut is strong. If Ralahi comes out in any sort of space whatsoever, he'll probably undercut Peach here, because the gap was a little under 2 seconds. And Ralahi probably hasn't picked up any damage from that off-circuit excursion. It was just on the grass, so he didn't get any damage, so he's got nothing else to repair. And we've seen, as I said, the undercut be strong, so I think Ralahi may just get Jean-Pierre here. Jean-Pierre's got to box this lap, surely. He's going to be very quick over the last 2 stints, though. He's got half an hour now, so he gets to do basically 2 15-minute quali runs based on when he comes in. So he's going to be extremely fast over the last half an hour on fresh rubber, unless he decides to not take tyres in one of these stops, which is obviously also a play. And we haven't really considered that in terms of what Lucas Keys and Shady Samuel have done either. We don't know whether they took tyres. We haven't monitored how long they were in the pits. So whilst it looks pretty cut and dry at the moment in terms of, the undercut is strong, we don't know whether these guys are taking tyres or not. So it could actually play out differently towards the end. As you said, Sean, this isn't really going to work itself out until the last, sort of 10 minutes when everyone's done their stops.
Yeah, that's right. We're just saying big field cleanse, as they say. So with 33 minutes remaining, you are watching round 2 of this Simrigs.com. Oh, as Peach comes in, there we go. So he must be clued into it. Wow, that was very good. I love the name of that car. I really do.
No, we don't. I just looked at that. You can't do that. That's right up there with Sofa King Slow, that one.
Palmer pops in as well. Now, Palmer, is that his second stop? I believe that is his second stop. So Palmer's done. He is done. Right. So that's another one we'll have to really keep an eye on now. So Palmer is suited and booted to the end of the race. Riley, now this is the gap we're keeping an eye on because Riley comes around the final turn now. Peach is leaving the pit lane. Should have this covered well and truly. It is such a long drag when you got to hit the gas though, but does cover him off. So he'll be comfortable with that. And Lucas Keys, this is very close. So he's made up time here, Peach. And Lucas Keys, looks like, is that one of the Kovacs Porsches in front there? So got a little bit of traffic in front of him. And this is getting real dicey now. Oh, they're going to go through here too wide. No, they're not. No, they're not. Wow, Peach thought better of that. Wow, so is that, I'm just trying to see which Porsche that is there. Sorry for it is Pete Viney. So this is the position as well. So yeah, Tarks does not have to get out of the way here. And this is really, you know what this is? Free kick, Shady Samuel.
I was just going to say that is all win for Shady Samuel right now. Oh no!
Tarks takes a little excursion.
I think he's done that almost intentionally. Oh, he's kind of just pucked Page's entry there, and that's going to cost Page probably a tenth or so to Lucas Keys. So Tarks, I think just doing his best to get out of the way there has actually made it a little bit worse than he needed to. But as you said, no, he's well and truly entitled to that position because he is battling on track 4 position, but I think he's a smart man and will know that obviously he's a pit strategy away from these guys and was just trying to get out of the way and not get in the midst of this, which he kind of did okay until he didn't. And then, yeah, but anyway, it's kind of shaken out in the same position that it was. He's still back there behind Page, who's still behind Lucas, but as you said, the big winner out of this is going to be Shady Samuel, who's still plugging away in acres of free space with fresh tyres and still holding the purple lap. So really all coming together for Shady at the moment. There he is right up the road. And he's almost into Island Bend as these guys still wind their way down Lakeside. So, yeah, nice first stint for Shady Samuel, working out nicely as we come across the halfway mark of round 2 here at Oulton Park.
And just notice that Rash Matt has pulled into the pits as well, just looking at the timing chart. So he's come in at currently P11, so he's coming in for his final pit as well.
That's an interesting line.
Just takes it a little bit not quite where you're supposed to. But this is going to play it interesting, Rash Matt. You know, hopefully he's might have found some clean air as well. He might have been in a bit of traffic as we're looking there as Ralahay's also getting caught up behind Viney there, which is only benefiting these two out the front here as well. But that's another quick little one to make a note of there.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, definitely, because Rashman I still reckon top 5, maybe a little bit optimistic, but I expect him in the 10, 100%. So we've got over halfway. It is round 2, of course, of the Simrigs.com Sprint Series from Oulton Park, and it is Rob Underwood leading the way, but he pops into the pit lane now, so it will be Bolt leading the way from our provisional race leader, Shady Samuel, Lucas Keys, JP Sonicus, Rahali, Pete Viney, who has popped into the pit lane, Struik, Rashudi, and Scotty Rochford are your 10 at the moment. Here is Josh Struik at the moment. And as I said, this guy is a very quick operator in Gran Turismo land, has been to the World Tour as well. It's just a fancy place where they basically go and race Gran Turismo in a fancy location. That's really what it is. But super chilled guy as well. Loves his tennis. So there you go. Some fun fact for you all. And of course, looking forward to seeing him go around in the Bathurst 12 Hour. And he'll be teaming up with Rondinella in the Skill Issue Racing 150. So great to see how he goes, and I completely agree with one JC as well. He is getting a white badge very soon, I feel. Back with our leader. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we'll definitely wind it in for him next week, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, which sort of, Yeah, I don't think you'll mind, but you can kind of get yourself taken out of a silver class championship there. But he's too fast for silver. He's creaming these guys every week. So whilst he's probably not going to be challenging the top of the pros and that doesn't have a chance of winning that one, you can't have him just storming away with the silver class win either. So unfortunately, he's just in that middle ground between pro and silver. Our very handsome man in the pit lane, Glenn's posted the pit stop times for the first stop. And as we rightly pointed out, Keys, Peach and Relahi all took tyres. It is Shady Samuel who did not take tyres. So he is 5 seconds quicker in the pits than, he's 5 seconds quicker than Keys and Relahi. He's only 4 seconds quicker than Peach. So that goes to show you how good Peach is at pit stops. We watched his pit entry and how quick that was. Just as quick as Lucas, but obviously he got up on the jacks quicker. So Peach, 1 second faster than the top 4 in the pits. But Shady, as I said, 4 seconds clear of Peach, so he hasn't taken tyres. And that is probably why you've seen this gap wound in to just over 2 seconds now, which was well and truly over sort of 4 or 5 when they came out of the pits. So, an interesting little phase here where Lucas will obviously catch up very quickly. In fact, he's taken 3/10 out of him in that last sector alone. He's going to be right up to the back of Shady Samuel very quickly. And on fresh rubber, is he worth a shout here at maybe making a pass on track, boys?
That's a big call. Porsche versus Mustang, for starters, that's the first thing we're going to think about. So Shady, all he has to do is nail his exits, and there's no way in hell that Porsche is getting past. But fresh rubber, it's a risk, it's dicey, I like it, it's spicy, it's what we want. What are your feelings there, Brad?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I think as much as he's got to execute the exits right, when your rubber's not as good, you can't get the power down as quickly and as hard as you can when you do have the fresh rubber. So, unfortunately, I reckon the spots where you become most vulnerable will actually be the corner exits when you're trying to get that power down. And the tyres are just going, no, I don't want to be a part of that, which is really going to make him vulnerable. With Keys, if he can get really close and stay on him, then I think it's going to be really tight. The only thing is, 25 minutes. Does this now look within the next kind of 5-6 minutes, which is only about three odd laps, 4 laps tops? Do they then start to look at the second round of pit strategies? Is it going to be one of those things that the Keys catches right up to him and then he goes, well, I'm not going to let you pass me on the track, I'm going into pits? Not real sure, but I think he's leaving himself quite vulnerable compared to the other two in Keys and Sonic there behind him.
It's very interesting. I'm trying to work it all out and I'm coming up empty. So I'm just going to sit here and enjoy this because this is going to be so good to watch at the end. Because we've got three very different schools of thought here. And as you can see, on track though, there is not a lot separating.
No, it's down to now 1.1 seconds to Keys. And the other question would be, as we throwing tyres up, is that, well, clearly Shady's going to grab some tyres on his next pit. Does Keys and Sonicas then, now that they've already had the fresher rubber, do they now take the 5 seconds up and then go, righto, Shady, you got to try and get past both of us in the final few minutes in the final few laps of the race? So exciting.
Or is Shady just relying on his driving skill and going to both of them, I don't need tyres?
Throw it out there. Throw it out there, Mole. Let's go. Well, if you got track position is key around Oulton Park. We know that.
It certainly is. So, yeah, plenty to play out here. Very intriguing race we've got. So, quickly through the classes, it is Joshua Strickland in silver class at the moment, but we're just going to put a line through that one. So, it is Rob Underwood leading the way from Tonkin. Scotty Rochford currently there in 7th position. Nice drive there from Annie in the Honda. He does owe us 2 pit stops. He is going for the super alternate strap, which, again, I'd love to see. And then O'Brien and Viney are 2nd and 3rd there in Pro-Am. And then in the AM class, it is Gormley from Johnson. There were a couple other AMs down the bottom there, but I can't see them at the moment, so I do apologise. But we do have a couple of drivers. So I believe I believe Eddie there is the only one at O's 2 stops. So that is a very alternate strat with 23 minutes to go. Hashtag I hope he's remembered.
Missed a memo.
Oh, there he goes.
Is just while Lucas Keys jumps all over the back of Shady Sammy here, we've got the camera pointed just the spot on direction here. John Gormley in the lead of the AM class has completed all his stops too, by the way. So he is a pit stop and 9 seconds in front of the second class AM driver, having a very nice race. Currently in P22 overall is the Pan A man. But yeah, we're on board with Lucas Keys here now as he jumps all over the back of Shady Samuel. Shady, as we said before, hasn't taken tyres, so these tyres are 38 minutes old and they are probably screaming by now around this pretty high deg track, whereas Lucas Keys on the fresh rubber is really enjoying the extra grip that he's got. Now, can he find an exit, especially out of these slow speed corners? This would be one of them where the Porsche is super strong on the same rubber, let alone superior rubber. You can see Shady getting all sorts of crossed up and very early goes to the inside. He knows that the Porsche will have the run, so he defends the inside very early after getting all sorts of squirrely coming out of the last corner and puts the car in all the right places. Lucas Keys forced to sacrifice his entry and has to sit behind. That invites Page up, by the way, too, is also on fresh rubber. So this has become a really hot three-way battle. Shady hanging on for dear life here as they come up to their second round of pit stops.
That is a great bit of driving.
Notice Keys just out that little bit, and I thought Sonicus might have even been able to capture him there too.
So this is closed right up, and we've got some lap traffic up ahead as well. So this is a lot to play out here, but Lucas Keys, look at him sliding the Porsche there through the chicken. Lovely to watch. That's a great bit of car control there. Takes real talent to do that in a Porsche.
He does have to be careful here, Lucas, because they are, as you said, coming up to lap traffic. Shady on old rubber is going to be probably a little extra cautious coming up to this lap traffic. He didn't want to get involved in any sort of blue flag incidents, and I think that's what's happened there as they came up to the chicane. Shady taking it really easy on the way in there, probably just shortened his brake marker by 5 or 10 metres, and I don't think Lucas was super prepared for that. It was an incredible piece of car control to keep it out of the back of Shady, but he does need to be careful. As they, as you said, as they come into these braking zones and up to this lap traffic, he's got so much extra braking power and again here coming out of the last. That's actually Shady going into the pits. Okay, so Lucas Keys now gets a chance to stretch his legs. What can he do? Can he get an overcut done now? Because Shady has surely got to take tyres on this stop. He will really quickly run out of pace if he doesn't take tyres here.
Definitely need to take tyres. So these laps now, these next 3 or 4 laps for Keys and Sonicus are going to be absolute on the limit, ragged edge if they're going to make this overcut work. And then conversely, Shady Samuel's outlap is going to have to be on the money straight away. This is now where the race is, right here.
That's it.
This is why Split Red is simply the best race to watch. Absolute benchmark operators applying their craft at the highest level. And it's just bloody good fun to watch.
Oh, it's great to watch. Love all the splits. They've all got incredible dynamics across all of them. The pace and the car control of the guys in Split Red is just... Oh, it was... Caught breathless there.
Hold on, everyone, hold on to your breath here.
So Shady's absolutely nailed this, actually, because what he's done is he's caught these guys up to the back of some blue flag traffic and then pitted. And that has, look, they haven't done too badly there. They've got 4 corners to give way, of course, and by the book, they've probably got that out of the way just in time. But Lucas was definitely held up there. So once he comes into his next pit stop, he's got Carlos in front of him now, and I think Carlos will jump out of the way as quickly as he can. And then they've got some free space in front of them, but that right there over that last sector might just be enough to buy Shady some track position. And when they shake out these pit stops, he may still be just in front.
It's going to be close. It's going to be very tight to see how this plays out. Now they
And-
come up to the back there. It's okay. Sorry, fly in my throat.
And looking well too. I know there's a half decent gap there between Shady and Rashmat, but Rashmat's also done his second stop as well. I know he's about 15 seconds off the pace, so I'm sure there'll be other traffic in between. But he's done well to wiggle his way back through a lot of the traffic from that first couple of laps.
He certainly has. He's put himself in a really good position here for that top 5 finish I was talking about. I think he might just finish outside, but he's going to be very close. Lucas Keys, though, just seems to have gathered it up, and he's really starting to put in the Hollywood numbers out. And JP, of course, just consistent operator. And we just if we also look at the track map, I think they'll be starting to have a really one eye on the track map to absolutely work out where they're going to pop out in relation to Shady here.
100%.
I was going to work it out, but I like my head.
I don't know how to figure out exactly where they're got to come out and all of that, but I definitely think that right now that will definitely be playing into the thought process of calculating out what it is that they are going to be doing and when they're going to be coming in. And I think a lot of that will come down to where's going to be the gap with the lap traffic, because the last thing that these guys want is to come out and fighting with the blue flags on the cold tyres and then just hand the race across.
Well, it may not matter. I'm blown away by this. I don't know if this is a bug or if Glenn's pulling our chain. I don't think he is, but Glenn is suggesting that Shady has again not taken tyres.
Wow.
Shady has done a 50.5 second stop, which is only 1.5 seconds slower than his first stop. And it is still 3.5 seconds faster than Ralahi and Key's first stop, which is 54 seconds. So we're assuming that a tyre stop is about 54 seconds. If Shady's gone in and done a 50.5, he's probably obviously gone in slow on old tyres and he's not quite got the perfect pit entry that he did on the first stint. But if it's a 50.5, has he not taken tyres again? And is now out there on 45-minute-old rubber at Oulton Park, just hoping that track position is genuinely king.
That is bold. And I am all for it. Lucas Keys, if you don't mind. It's a call. I'll give it that. Going to be fascinating to see if he can hold on to that. Because Oulton Park is high deg, as we know, at the best of times. Throw a Mustang into that? Oh.
33.6 is look, I'm not going to say it's quick because that's about as fast as I was going, but that's pretty slow compared to these guys at the front. It's pretty slow compared to obviously they were nearly doing 31s in qualifying. The other Ford that I wanted to point out is Fadley Rackmat. We were talking about him coming from the back of the field. He's completed all of his pit stops too, and he's behind Shady Samuel on track. Whether or not he's on fresh rubber, we don't know. He's 18 seconds behind Shady Samuel, so he's not going to be, battling for the podium by any stretch. But the fact that he's put up his on track, he's literally behind Shady Samuel with probably only some blue flags between him and Shady. He will probably come out in a battle for P, let's say 5, 6, or 7. That's a bloody good effort from the back of the field. And as you said, Sean, you put him on the top 5, I think. Bloody not far away from that.
No, it's been an awesome drive, and I'll go early. He's my driver of the day. Stunning drive. Back to Shady, currently rolling around in 6th. You can just tell by the car as well. It just doesn't look like it's got that real fine knife edge grip. He's definitely driving to the tyre, trying not to slide it and excite it too much as he comes through the wickedly fast Druids corner. Then down into Lodge. Tricky braking area this. And then really tricky to get the power on exit as well. So easy to slide the back end around.
Sure.
That is very
You're saying this is a bold strategy. What's bold?
Yeah.
Tyres.
That's very good.
That's very good from you, Kamaris. We appreciate that one in chat. That's a very good shout. I'm having a very good giggle at that. Paige would love that. Paige is going to watch this back. He'll like that one.
That is Paige Went sort of humour, isn't it? So, Lucas Keys leading the way. Currently, JP Sonicus there in second. Rahali in third. Struik, great drive there in fourth. Underwood in fifth. Nice drive there from Robbie Underwood. Shady Samuel in sixth. Rushmat there in seven. Rashuti in eighth. Palmer in ninth. And Tonkin in 10. And then it's Justin, Salvigio, and Goeb are your 1, 2, 3 in Pro-Am. And then Gormley, who has a drive-through. So that's changed the complexion of Am there a little bit.
Master, what are you doing?
What is going on there? And Zavaka now in second in Am will be seeing that with a big smile on his face and going, oh, hey!
I can do a bit of rallycross and still come out on the top of AMs.
Igor was doing loop-de-loops out the side of Ireland there too. He got in all sorts of trouble. We're watching him trying to spin it around and keep it out of the wall. So the fact that he's managed to keep it up and stay in front of Johnston and Asplin and the rest of the AM class drivers and is potentially looking at P1 and AM class now, I'd be very happy with that in the Blue Flag Express Bentley.
Certainly will.
Now,
for those that don't know, yeah.
Sorry, I just want to revisit because Glenn is just piling in information here from the pit lane. Shady is literally 1 second a lap slower than Keys, Peach, and 1.2 seconds a lap slower than Relahi. So he is so far off the pace, it isn't funny. Oh. And if you consider that the not taking tyres option is 5 seconds faster in the pit lane, it'll literally only be 5 laps before Lucas Keys and Jean-Pierre. Lucas Keys is in P3. He has dropped to P3. He is now behind Relahi and Jean-Pierre Senekis.
What has happened there?
He has had a big mistake in the Fruitball Porsche and has just basically binned this race. What has happened? So that has put Jean-Pierre Senekis in the driver's seat because, as I said, he only needs to make up 5 laps worth of time going at a second a lap faster to pinch P1 from Shady Samuel with the overcut. So as long as he is in any sort of space whatsoever, Jean-Pierre, and as long as he doesn't get absolutely cucked by blue flags at all, he's going to be in a really strong position once he finishes his pit stop, because Shady Samuel is a long way off the pace at the moment.
Very interesting. Now, we are getting a little bit of talk from the pit lane.
Oh, no.
There may have been a moment, but we're not going to go early. We will wait for the... Oh, here comes the evidence. Here we go. Oh, there's been a touch. There's gone around. Oh, no. Oh, no.
The bloody rejoin from Lucas was super close too. He was not holding his brakes there, I wouldn't imagine. I'd like to see the HUD on Lucas Key's brakes there, because whilst it didn't actually cause any drama, it was bloody close.
Oh, wow. That is thrown his race on his head.
Seat. He's not. That is a pen. That is a ticket. That is an invoice. So Jean-Pierre's probably getting 10, 15 for that.
And that, once again, is putting Relahay right up in the top spot. Once again.
Unbelievable. How is Relahay? No words.
Just Mr. Consistent. Just sit it in there, and now all of a sudden, he's 10 minutes to go in the absolute box seat. Someone's given him the popcorn and a frozen Coke.
Okay, Lucas. Here we go. We've got a bit of hard action here.
Yeah, he has missed his marker. He's gone very deep. That will be a penalty.
Oh, that's a big kissy.
Unfortunately.
Just hoping not to get involved.
Yep. A slam dunk that one.
Car 555, 15-second penalty for Peach. There you go.
Oh, that's going to put him a long way back down there now. Unfortunately, that's going to put him in Rashmat territory.
That will also have cost them a lot of time. Obviously, we saw Lucas Key spin round, baby, right round.
Damage.
So that has really helped Shady Samuel, who, as we said, was dropping a second per lap. As Lucas comes out of the pit lane now, I'd be interested to see where Shady is. Has he managed to stay in front of Lucas Keys? He hasn't.
he has.
He is still
Wow.
behind, even though
Nice.
Lucas Keys was hit and spun. So Lucas hasn't repaired the damage, but I wonder if Lucas Keys took tyres in that last stop, knowing that it cost him a lot of time. Maybe Lucas hasn't taken tyres either. We'll be interested to see the pit stopwatch on for Lucas Keys, and now he may also be on old tyres, but certainly not as old as the tyres that this man's on, goodness gracious.
Wow. So Lucas Keys, that just shows the pace that he was having, but also the pace drop-off that Shady was having, and has not managed to get out in front. Lucas Keys might be in the box seat here, but I think Rahali's the one to watch. Rahali, for mine, could really get out and amongst this, and we could have a real grandstand finish. So JP, he's gone around again. I'm having a look to see where the 555 is on track at the moment, just so I can get a bit of a rough idea. Yep. So he's going to go around again. He's going to try and mitigate this as much as possible. He's probably going to put in some Hollywood laps and just see if he can mitigate this damage as he's popping down now to the hairpin at Shell Oils. Bang turn. Lovely turn, this one. Feels awesome when you get it right. So he's 2.6 seconds to the good of Rahali, and then we've got Struik, who's just having a nice little race there. Currently in third. He owes us a pit stop as well. Lucas Keys there in fourth. He's the first of our I've got everything ready to go. So this is, going to play out. I don't want to make any predictions yet, but it's going to be fascinating to see how they all roll out of their pit stops.
Imagine
very
having
good.
no bloody idea what's going to happen with 7 minutes to go in this race. This is a great bloody race.
This is an amazing race.
Oh,
That's very good from you, John, by the way, in chat. Very good.
this is spicier than the herbs and spices on the KFC chicken right now.
Oh, that's some good work there, Brad.
So
I
Lucas
like it.
Keys with a 48.5 second stop. So he has chosen to not repair damage and not take tyres, which is what has kept him in front of Shady Samuel. He is, as we said, now he's floating around with a rear damaged Porsche. Sean Muller, you'll know more about that. How's that going to be feeling for him?
Terrible. Absolutely horrible, that will feel like. It'll feel like I want to swap ends on every turn. Oh, Shady. Oh, that is not the line. That is not the line. So Shady decided he wanted to try the island circuit. Thought the international circuit was not good enough, and he's got traffic now up ahead. That's Igor just popping himself out of the way.
Ralahi and Struik in the pits.
Here we go. This is the big pit stop.
This will be the deal breaker, make or break.
This is it. This is literally for the win, because you can take Jean-Pierre out of it with that 15-second penalty. He may or may not have track position up the front, but with that penalty, he's going to be dropping at least P2, P3, P4. So this is it. Ralahi coming out of the pit lane now. Exit. He is so far in front of Shady. It isn't funny. Nirasana Ralahi, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be P1 here with 5 minutes to go. So as long as he keeps his nose clean, he's going to pick up a second win.
Lucas is in front. Yeah, Lucas is in front.
Come here again.
Yeah,
Where is he?
there he is.
Lucas Keys is in front. The kid has done it.
I'm very sorry.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
That's such an...
So those laps that Lucas must have done, why he wasn't spun around, and that must have been absolute flyers. Because how has he done that is incredible. What a drive from Lucas Keys. But Rahali now in net second position. Shady Samuel now will be net third. Struik's going to be maybe net fourth, which is a huge drive. Rashford's got a drive-through. Rashford has a drive-through as well.
Oh, bugger.
With 4 minutes 30 remaining. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, that was him knocking on the door of P5, mate.
Yeah, exactly. The thing with Rashford, you know what that is? That's just on the limit driving us. Oh, Rahali, just see that there. That was lovely. Not fast, but lovely. When he's trying to just catch up. Wow. A bit more salt.
Yeah, let's just open that wound back up and just put more in, and then we'll close it up and open it back up again. Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. So
Even coming
that
in
is
blue flat.
that is now a 30-second invoice there for the 555. I'm sure that'll be received with humility and grace.
Very, very high pleasure.
Loving open arms.
Open arms, cut my chest open again, boys, while you're going.
Been there, don't recommend.
numbers cursed, he'll say. He's going to go back to he's going to go back to 44 next week.
Yeah.
You'll probably get rid of the pink fez too.
Oh, no, the pig fez stays. Let's not get extreme now. Let's settle down.
We'll just change the number.
All right, so here is our net race leader at the moment, Lucas Keys, aka the Kid. Very quick operator. And has proven many times when he's on, he is pretty much close to unbeatable. And this has been a fantastic drive. And he's still wringing the absolute neck out of that Porsche as well. Lovely through there. Look at that. That is how to drive a Porsche, and that's a damaged Porsche as well. Just shows the skill of the man. Right behind him is Rahali, who will inherit that second position once Page serves his pit stop. Then Shady Samuel. Great drive from Shady. Tried something a little bit different, which is very nice to see. It's what we want. We like to see different strategies play out. And then Joshua Stewart in, looks like net fourth, I believe, as well. So another great drive there from Stewart. That will be a promotion. See what I did there? Thank you. Here a week. And Rushmat just serves his drives through there in sixth, and Rashuti there in seventh. Palmer in eighth. Nice drive there from Brad Palmer. Tonkin there in ninth. Carl Johnson there popping around in 10th position. Then the Pro-Am battle, which is a beauty, by the way. Salvaggio, Bolt and Jusman all laying down haymakers. And Igor is currently P1 in AM class. Great job, Igor. And then Gormley, unfortunately, who did receive that penalty, had to drop down into second position in AM. And that is our race score with 1:26 remaining in round 2 of the Simrigs.com OR Sprint Series Split Red.
And just a shout out to both Zavaka and Bromley that 2 AM drivers in the top 20 is and at this track is a great effort. Definitely got to take the hat off to those 2 boys, because it's not an easy track, and they've done well to be able to get to there. Oh no!
Get stuck, Lufty. He's not even in this race, and he's got to drive through.
Nice. Oh, that's a very damaged Mustang. Whoa, that didn't look nice at all.
That wasn't Gobby.
No.
Was that Gobby or Gormley? They both run the same livery. They're very, very slightly different, but they're both basically in the same livery.
No, I don't think it was Gormley. He looks like he's rolling around nice. I think it was Gobby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. So he's had a huge moment. Not too sure what's happened there, but that Mustang is very second-hand.
Oh.
Oh, that
Hang on to it, Gobby. Bring her home.
As Page now pops into the pit lane. So he'll have to serve his stop with 30 seconds there, and Lucas Keys will inherit the lead of the race. Just going to be interesting to see now.
Is he going to get out before Keys comes out and across the line?
Well, good point.
30 seconds that he's got to stop and wait. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it.
This will be...
Is start finish? Oh, he might.
He's
probably past the start finish line.
There we go. But Lucas Keys, it's been a dominant performance. He really has drove beautifully. We didn't know that this result was in him, but today he's proven that he is the number 1 driver out there, and really has shown a clean pair of heels. Yes. Oh, whoa. So what's going on here? We've broken ACC. There we go. After many seasons at OOR, we've finally done it.
Like ACC needed more braking.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Let's final hurrah before we all head over to AC Evo. Let's go. Let's put another nail in the coffin. Let's break it again.
So
And that
Peach has
is-
served his 30 seconds. He's come out of the pit lane. It looks like he's right here in front of Fadley Rackmat. So he's dropped all the way back to P6. Fadley has done a drive-through in the last 5 minutes as well. So that's how far back he has fallen. As you said, Josh Struick is going to clean up for P4. So that's a pretty bloody handy result for him. He's going to be finding himself in pro class real quickly. But it does look like we're just doing an extra bloody parade lap here.
Yeah, we are.
Hopefully everyone's put enough fuel in, because this race is going for 63 minutes is what's happening here. Lucas Keys is eventually going to come around the last sector here, and as long as he doesn't make any sort of significant boo-hoo, he'll hold off Relahi for P1. But it has, as you said, been a pretty strong performance from him. He must have put in a really mega sort of middle stint there to pick up enough time to not only keep a hold of the Porsche after he'd got spun by Peach.
Has he got fuel? Has he got fuel?
Yeah, everyone's just going to make it home. That Mercedes doesn't look like it's got enough fuel. I think that's Armand Jusman, who's just waiting for the leaders to pass so that he doesn't have to do an extra lap. It's actually quite big brain from him, if indeed that is the play. It is Shady Samuel who's going to pick up P3. Didn't quite get the strategy right, not taking any tyres at all this evening. So whilst being the fastest person on track, he's going to have to be happy with the podium. But here he is, Josh Struick, coming home for P4, and Stefano Ricciuti with a bloody good result just quietly.
He did. He just snuck under the radar, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He qualified inside the top 10s. The pace is definitely there, but he's not been on screen all evening, so he's kept his nose very clean. Didn't get any penalties. Didn't put himself in the wall. Didn't have anyone put him in the wall. So nice work to Stefano. Grabbing P5. Jean-Pierre falling all the way back to P6. Fadley coming from last to finish in P7 after being as high as, I think, around about P4 or P5, but getting himself a drive-through for track limits. Brad Palmer in P8 in the Porsche, leading silver class, considering Struick's probably going to be pro. And then Tonkin and Carlos rounding out the silver 2, 3, and the top 10 overall.
Wow, that was a very interesting race. We said it was going to... Oh, Carl, a man after my own heart.
Kept it in track limits too. That's 10 out of 10.
Very good work there. There is Sam O'Brien in the beautiful Martini-inspired Ferrari. And he will cross the line there in 12th. Nice job there. Pete Viney will be in 13th. And then we're just waiting on Mr. Bolt, who is decided, yep, I'm not going to serve my drive-through. But that
we were
is...
talking about qualifying inside the top 10, gets the Pro-Am P1, but Sam O'Brien, that's a very good result from him too. P2 in Pro-Am, and he was doing sort of mid-34s to 35s earlier on this week, and he's put in a bunch of practice towards the end of this week and has managed to get P2 in Pro-Am. So nice work for O'Brien, and as you said, Viney, P3 in Pro-Am. Good result for him too.
Very good result. Well, that is the Simrigs.com Sprint Series round 2, split red from Oulton Park, run and done, as we will go over our race results. And it is Lucas Keys taking the win from Rahali. Shady Samuel there in 3rd and gets the fastest lap as well. Joshua Struick there in 4th. Rashudi Sanikas back. Well, hang on. And then Sanikas, Rashmat, Palmer, Tonkin and Johnson are your 10. And then across the silver class, it is Palmer, Tonkin and Johnson. Sorry, Josh. Pro-Am is Salvaggio, O'Brien and Viney. And then in the AM class, Igor gets the W and M. Get on Discord and check out his content. He does some great work. And then Gormley and Asplin are your top 3 in AM. There we go. Run and done. Not bad. Way to end sprint round.
That was action-packed right from second one right through to the final 5 seconds as well. That was a great strategy plays from so many different people, right up to the dying breath. What a race!
Yeah, hats off to OOR too and the organisers who put together that event. That's the 2-stop at Oulton Park, and you get to choose whether to take your tyres. That has produced some excellent racing over the last 2 days across all 4 splits. So, we say hats off to the drivers for, working their strategies, but it's OOR who put that one together. That's a bloody good little event, that one.
Couldn't agree more. I think, fascinating. Gives us commentators something to talk about as well. When there's, different strategies at play. So big, tip the cap to the organiser for that one. I think that was a great round. But have we got another round of Sprint Series next week? I'm just trying to remember.
Probably not, because we got
we don't.
Octane Online
Do we? Oh, yeah, the Bathurst is not till the 15th, so we've probably got one more week next week. We've got Monza, which I think is variable and or wet, so hope to God for all the Porsche drivers out there that it's wet, because that's why I picked the Porsche, Sean. I picked it because I thought we were going to have bloody wet races all season long, so I'm praying to God that it is a wet Monza, because the Porsche is crap in a straight line, and if it doesn't rain, I'm just going to throw in the towel and start from last. Anyway, we're off to Monza next week. We got the rookies heading there on Tuesday, and then, of course, the Sprint Series on Wednesday and Thursday. Keep an eye out for AMS2 action, which is going to start off with an F1 Series on Sunday. I don't know whether that's streamed, but you'll see in the streams channel, myself included, there'll be a couple of people streaming that one. So AMS2 action for historic F1 cars at historic F1 tracks. That's your Sunday night action coming your way.
Ooh,
very good watch on Sunday night. They're also doing a Daytona 2.4 hour over the next, I think that's 2-3 weeks away on AMS2. And then, of course, LMU starting to fire up as well. That's a Friday night series, which I think is taking a week off for the Bathurst 12 hour this week, but we'll be back next week. And then, other than that, some iRacing happening as well. It's just all happening in OR. If you've got a game you like playing, it's happening in OR. So get signed up, get in the Discord, get verified until probably midway through next week. My name's Jamie Conboy. Sean Muller's been with me, and as Brad Gosling from Up on the Mountain. Very good effort from you and Glenn Germain behind the cameras. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat. See you next week.
Bye.